Yes, sir. Let's see. He said, "What's the word on the street?" I got my ear to the street. I'm just trying to be all I can be. I'm from the trenches with it for your life. And I we're real niggas that protect me with their stripes. What did he tell them now? But when you owe your dog, you pay late. Big house with a suit. Hey, I ain't out shit going up. Why they laugh at me first? And now one brother, yo, guess who's back? What's up, elevated? I gotta elevate. I gotta, I, I, I gotta elevate. Straight up, shout out to elevated in that bit, man. Crank that bit up, man. Y'all crank that bit up. We came to get you. Okay, okay, okay. Salute to my boy, man. For real, for real. Salute to him. Salute to him, for real. That boy elevated say he's back in the building. Salute elevated, man. Let me see something right quick. Okay, okay. All right, bet. I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate. We'll let these neck bones marinate. Say, what should we be doing on this live stream today? Getting the likes up, donating, that's for sure. The gifts and super chats. Join the membership. Chilling out. You know what it's about. That's all we need to be focused on. Straight up. Straight up. Shout out to my boy Elevated though, for real. Yeah, shout out to my boy Elevated, man. Straight up. Shout out to everybody in the building though. For real, for real. We got a couple things to get into, gang. Nolan Will News, that boy YG, Drake. We got a couple things. We might just be in here just chilling. We might just be in here chilling. Who know? Who knows, man? Okay, you see. What? Man, no, 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 no. Get up out of here. Go ahead. Leave. 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 Yeah, we need you to leave now. Yeah. Get up out of here. We don't need you to edit nothing over here. Nothing. We don't need you to edit. Not a thing. Straight up. We don't need you over here. Straight up. Yeah. You keep it moving, brother. I appreciate that like. Put a poll up with a dumb question. Nah, I don't be feeling with them polls like that, man. When I first came over here, I was doing the polls, man. Something I ain't interested to. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't interested in that. If you interested to polls, pause. This ain't the channel. All right, man. Let me get into it. I ain't got time to be down fucking with that, man. I ain't got time. I ain't got time, bro. I ain't even got time. Not today. Not tonight. Not tonight. I ain't got time to be fooling, man. Let's get into this real quick. We just gonna hop right into it. We ain't gonna wait around, gang. We gonna just hop all the way into it. That boy YG responded to that boy Drake. To my legend tried to get him arrested for the Drake Code the ruler. Unaliving. Get the likes up. Gotta have your water. Gotta have your water. Y'all better be drinking something with the heat that be out here. Shh. But you better be drinking something. Say, boy, where you come from? Say, where you come from, boy? Extortion and all types of. Oh, I ain't gonna go. Alright. She just said, right? Okay. Yeah. Let's get into this though, gang, real quick. And then we'll get into the Nolan World news. That boy Drake, YG. Let's go. Oh, hold up. Let me fix something real quick.
YG arrested, but Draco the rule of death. Just 8 days ago, YG was detained, questioned, and property searched regarding Draco the rule of murder. Make sure y'all smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy Music 101, the Street Report, and I'm back with another video. Let's get into it. While Glasses Malone was live, someone commented and said, why don't we have 700 to 1,000 viewers in here? Because it's not about Drake. Basically insinuating that this guy Glasses Malone only gets 700 to 1,000 people in his live when he talking about Drake, and when he not, the people ain't pulling up. Why did he say that?
You see now, he the fuck out of that.
Y'all like that trash up, man.
Because what Glasses Malone
said
reached
having
every social media platform, including mine. I never knew this guy existed.
This is not a Reggie night. This is a gas night.
Before I play this clip, I just want to say this video is for commentary, news reporting, and discussion purposes only. I don't condone or promote bullying, harassment, hate speech, threats, or discrimination against anyone based on their race, religion, gender, and sexual preference, or any other
you can't smoke Reggie your whole life. I'm just be honest with
those
y'all.
of the individuals involved and are not my own. My goal is to provide context and commentary on the public situation. Please keep the comments respectful. Don't use this video to target, harass, or threaten anyone. Thank you. Let's go.
We have 700 to 1,000 viewers in here because it's not about Drake. I could cuz back in. You want me to?
That's crazy.
You want me to put 1,000 people in here? I got some things in my mind, cuz, that I didn't talk about.
He wants to hear about Drake.
I don't think y'all understand this. Cuz don't like when I kick back in, because I'm not the rest of these. See, he can spend that money for YG life. He can spend that money and fuck with YG life. Let me tell you what this is doing. He's spending money and financing Draco campaign, cuz, to try to this boy life and get him arrested, because he mad about a battle.
How? Hold on, bro. How?
What battle?
He started playing me like that, cuz I swear to God, that little shit make his life horrible. All that's living in out here, cuz, that's...
What battle?
See, the difference is, cuz, it's like real power. See, that's rented power. You rent it, you pay for it. Real power, cuz, is when it's actually real. We do it for you just for the measure.
That part.
You don't want me to start cuz back in. You want me to start announcing to the world exactly what type of doing. See, y'all be fans of cuz, and y'all want me to go. I'm not really tripping about, it's not an important topic, cuz. You wanted to do it. This ain't no conspiracy. This is a fact. And you wouldn't care if it's a fact or not, because you can't get cuz out your tonsils. I know cuz. You don't know cuz. You a fan. And you not listening to me cuz, because you so busy thinking you gotta like cuz music. I have avoided talking about this because I'm like, you know what, cuz? I knew how much y'all look up to cuz and y'all like Nigga Throne and all this old I like. But I could turn this mug up in my sleep. And I'm not the rest of these niggas, and ain't nothing he could do about it. I'm not, and he'll tell you I'm not the rest of these, and ain't nothing he could do about it. So you don't want me to start talking about cuz. It was hell when I was talking about cuz.
To all my fellow truckers on the road, if you want to take your career to another level, with a...
Tell me he could shit on you.
Shit just got real.
Shit just got real.
First, I don't condone violence. Threatening or harming anybody is never okay. And before I show y'all YG response, I just want to say everything dude just said is allegedly. At this point, he never provided any proof, and it don't mean he lying. Some may ask, how would he know? Well, make sure y'all watch the full video, because I'm going to give y'all a little insight on his secret society and his blogging world, and how he would know if Drake paying the campaign for YG arrest.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
YG responded by posting Glasses Malone live and said it ain't so. Red alert, B-team, tap in. Now, I don't know what's going to be discussed at this blood meeting, but I don't think this...
What that boy say, say tap in, B-team, all teams in here. That boy say B-team, whoa. That boy say, whoa. All right.
was a smart move if he was planning anything other than talking to Drake. Because if something happened to Drake, especially if it's a blood member involved, YG may get another visit from them boys in blue. Now they wear black and they ain't talking about Crips. Drake Top Goon Top 5 responded and said, YG, you don't want me to come back to LA. Get me started. Long live Draco the Ruler. He posted a clip of filming an interview with Adam 22 talking about how they held YG at gunpoint. Check it out.
We even see YG 400. We put a gun to his head one day. I wouldn't even lie to you.
Oh my God. You did?
And GTA. And GTA. And GTA.
Jesus Christ.
Put a red dot in his head like he was Hindu.
God damn.
I mean, you know what's funny is that you said that story, and I don't think anybody's ever talked about it publicly.
Outside of Metro Boomin's birthday party. Go ahead.
But I talked to someone on the phone yesterday, like right after you told me that story, and they just immediately knew all about it and told me a bunch more details. So
ask about me in LA. They'll tell you what I did.
Then Top 5 made another post and said, this guy not a killer. Violence is never okay. Why we can't just sit down and talk about it like real men, guys?
Right.
Like, come on, man. Now, speaking on YG being an alleged iller, Draco the Ruler security guard testified that YG had a knife during the brawl that led to Draco's death. On July 24th, Alric Cooper III, who was working on Draco's security team on the night of the Once Upon a Time in LA festival, he testified that YG was front and center holding what appeared to be an improvised knife during the backstage fight where Draco was fatally stabbed. Cooper testified he recognized YG by his hazel eyes, even though the rapper was wearing a ski mask.
Damn. Man, hold up. Wait. Damn, man. Come on, man. Now, if he had a ski mask on, how you seen that man fucking eyes? You described his fucking eyes now? The nigga said, hold up. Wait. Hold up.
Style. Cooper testified he recognized YG by his hazel eyes, even though the rapper was wearing a ski mask. Hold on. Cooper testified he recognized YG by his hazel eyes, even though the rapper was wearing a ski mask.
I'm done. I'm fucking done,
play
bro.
devil's advocate. It's been multiple times, like my homies done put on the ski masks, right? And I knew them. I knew it was them because for whatever reason, I just recognized who they is behind that ski mask.
Man.
Now, if it's a person that you're not too familiar with, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna know. So depending on how the judge, courts, prosecutors, jury, whoever, that this evidence gonna be brought upon, depending on how they look at it, I don't know if this strong enough to say that was YG behind that ski mask. I forgot what rap it was, but he was in Chicago. He say when he be walking with his ski mask on, because he don't be wanting people to know who he is, he say people still be waving and screaming his name. So it's a valid point. But let's just see.
You wouldn't even know that Kodak if you wouldn't talk.
What if Flacco dropped a video saying that DJ Mustard paid for Draco the Ruler killer bond?
I got a question for DJ Mustard. Why is the street saying you paid for Draco the Ruler alleged killer's bond? I thought you and Draco was cool. I thought y'all squashed y'all beef before he died. The person that people are identifying, included an eyewitness as Draco the Ruler's killer, is a gang member from Black Peace Stone called Frankenstone, aka Frank Williams, or Cinco5 on Instagram before he deactivated his IG. Draco was killed December 17, 2021. And 2 years later, on the exact anniversary of Draco the Ruler, December 17, 2023, Draco the Ruler's alleged killer murdered another man at a nightclub. The fashion in which he murdered this victim was the exact same way he murdered Draco the Ruler. He stabbed this victim in the neck.
Damn.
This murder took place on camera.
Say it ain't so,
for
YG.
everybody to see in front of hundreds of witnesses. And it still took LAPD a year to get this dude in custody. And they didn't even arrest him. He turned himself in. He was initially held without bond just based on how cruel, how evil, how sinister, how bold, and how violent his murder was. He also tells the court that he's employed as a recording artist manager for multiple recording artists. The reason why I found that interesting was because if you go to this video right here of Frankenstone, he's wearing a 10 Summers chain. If you know anything about DJ Mustard, you know that his record label is called 10 Summers. So if Draco's alleged killer is wearing a 10 Summers chain while also claiming to the court that he works in the music industry, would I be wrong for assuming that he does business for DJ Mustard's label? Frank, now, I heard from very credible sources, like people very connected to this situation that DJ Mustard was paid Draco the Ruler's alleged killer's bond. They're from the same community. This dude was wearing a 10 Summers chain. If you're a DJ Mustard, why would you even want to connect yourself to a dude like this?
Now, this is just my opinion. It's no secret that
Crazy,
the guy who the internet is saying killed Draco the Ruler is connected to DJ Mustard. So is he wrong for bonding him out, for bonding his homie out? No, I don't see what's the big issue with that. But for the people that stayed and watched the full video, I'm going to keep my promise. Like I told y'all, how would Glasses Malone
blur video? Even on your 4K screen, 1 click and 2 pans sets the highest quality. Always.
Man, come on, guys.
Malone know if Drake paid for a campaign for a narrative to be pushed to make it look like YG had something to do with Draco the Ruler murder. Let me tell y'all something. And DJ Academics, he covered this a while back. He spoke on this briefly a while back. None of this is true. This is just an example. So say if Drake did want to pay or push the narrative that YG had something to do with Draco the Ruler death, what he gonna do? He gonna hit up DJ Academics. We all know DJ Academics is the face of Drake voice when it comes to the internet. Like, he been standing on that. So if Drake wanted to push this narrative, he gonna hit up DJ Academics. He gonna give him a bag. And he gonna say, hey, spread this money around to your blogger friends. He gonna give DJ Academics a little insight on some stuff that DJ Academics didn't know about YG and Draco the Ruler. DJ Academics gonna put a video out there. He gonna paint a narrative. He gonna hit up all his blogger friends behind the scenes. He might throw him a couple dollars or he might keep the whole bag for himself. But if he an honest person, he gonna throw all his blogger friends a couple dollars and tell them, hey, look, it's the information I got. Drake gave it to me. Put it out there. But don't say it came from Drake. Now you got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bloggers posting and painting this narrative that YG was involved with Draco the Ruler. Yeah. And imagine if all these bloggers got big platforms and they pushing this narrative, imagine how many people gonna start feeding it too. Once Drake tell DJ Academics gonna tell his blogger friends, and the word is gonna be around that, hey, Drake put out information, he paying people, post this. And y'all already know, people can't hold water. Soon as they hear a secret, they go to telling everybody. So if that is a thing, I'm pretty sure that Glasses Malone, if he's tapped in, he heard about it, if it's true. But y'all get in the comments and let me know what you think. Do you believe that Drake is really behind this whole campaign?
Y'all think Drake behind that, man? Why would Drake be behind that, though?
To push the narrative that YG has something to do with Draco the Ruler death? Or you think Glasses Malone is capping? Get in the comments and let me know.
Somebody sound like they capping.
Like, comment, subscribe, turn on.
Speaking of capping, this is off topic. Speaking of capping, I gotta go off topic real quick. Hold up. I saw something earlier. What his name is? What the name of that show? Let me go in my watch history. Man, I had to click off it. Speaking of capping, we're gonna get back into this YG shit. I got another video I want to play about YG, but hold up. Speaking of capping, look what this nigga here said about Young Dolph, gang. Get the likes up, gang. Man, put them Dolph emojis in the chat, man. Look what this nigga said about Young Dolph, bro. Hold on, gang. I saw this earlier. This is off topic. Speaking of capping, I was gonna talk about this later, but we talking about it right now. Hold on, gang. Wait right quick. Let me go to my history right quick. We finna find this. I said, is he crazy? How can they sit there and put something out like this? Hold on. Look what this nigga said. Look what he said, gang. About Young Dolph. No, it's cap. No, it's cap. No, it's cap. Don't even sound right. Hold up. Hold on, gang. I watched it earlier. Well, I watched some of it earlier. I started watching. I heard what he was saying. Man, I clicked off that shit. No cap. I clicked off it. Hold up. Where it's at? Where we at? Where we at with it? Hold on. Where we at? Hold on, gang. Hold up, gang. I just gotta address this. I got to. Did they take it down? They might have took it down, gang. He might have took it down because he know it was cap. He know that shit was cap. Man, I saw something earlier game about Young Dolph game. Bruh, but he knew that was cap. He knew that was cap. Let's get back into the YG shit then. Hey, nigga, you better have took that shit down then. I was finna get on your ass, no cap. You better let me find it while we doing this tonight. I promise you. We gonna show it. But let's get back into it. Let's get back into this YG and YG and Draco the Ruler shit.
When the family feels. You know who really bang and set my nigga YG. You know who really bang and set my nigga Chuck T. When the smoke don't ever mention my name.
We finna jump into that Nolan Wells after this. We finna jump into that.
Is that the way he trying to get? Yeah, is that the way he
we finna jump into that after this.
Like, what is? Why don't?
Like, I don't think y'all understand this. Cuz don't like when I kick his back in, because I'm not the rest of these niggas. See, he can spend that money and fuck with YG life. He can spend that money and fuck with YG life.
He said you need a flashlight. Let me tell you what
Mark ass is doing.
I got one on that bitch.
Financing Draco campaign, cuz, to try to fuck with this boy life and get him arrested.
You see it?
He's mad about a battle. He start playing me like that, cuz I swear to God, that little shit'll get shot up and all that shit. I'll make his life horrible. All that shit he living in out here, cuz, that shit'll get burnt up.
A California rapper just put a hit on social media for the biggest artist in the world, arguably. And the real question is why? Why now? Why something so risky? I need all my gang members to holler at me in this video. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying, for those who grew up in it, that's their life. I gotta ask a question. What do B-Team tap in me? I know the perception, but I need y'all to confirm whether this was a hit or not. No, it seems there's been some allegations that Drake has been pushing the narrative towards YG, but with no evidence, it makes you wonder. Why come up with that conclusion? And then you got a manager, a woman who go by the name of Karen. She used to do interviews. Now she's a manager. But it's a woman with, allegedly, some tacky ways. According to Max B, she's been taking over his account. The rappers have said the same, Meek Mill, and the list goes on. But it seems she's still the manager, or allegedly the manager, of YG. And she doubled down on the notion that Drake is trying to put a RICO on him. But why? Why would Drake want to do that? Why would YG respond with putting a hit out on him, knowing he's under the spotlight of authorities for the Draco murder? I can hear some of the comments now. Do these rappers got an inch of brain cell? Well, fam, today I'm bringing you this update. I'm going to do some research myself to try to figure out what led up to this. Allegedly, how two artists who got a plaque single managed to fall out and live in two different states. Today I'm going to do my best to find that out. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I'm going to give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Hey, listen. If you ever wish payday came sooner, this might actually help. It's a banking app currently with a bunch of useful tools.
Shout out to Family TV, man, for real, for real. About billion credit or whatever the case may be, but we ain't trying to do that right now, boy. We're trying to see what's going on with this shit.
I could kick Cuz back in.
We just watched this. We don't watch
Everyone
that again.
keeps asking me how I do my podcast alone. The answer, Riverside. I get high quality
You want me to?
Watching this part. Oh.
That's crazy.
You want me to put 1,000 people in here?
That's crazy. For him.
Dang, nigga showing the whole damn. Oh, he got the whole thing.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, what kind of?
Like, what does the statement say? You want me to go? I got some things in my mind, Cuz, that I didn't talk about. He wants to hear.
We ain't
as you just heard, fam, these are some bold claims. Now, before we go over what YG had to say in response to this, let's talk about the person who made these claims. Glasses Malone, born Charles Phillip Ivory, an American West Coast rapper and a podcaster from Los Angeles, California. He grew up in the gang-affiliated neighborhood of Watts and Compton, and apparently his animosity with Drake is, Glasses Malone argues that Drake does not represent the true street-rooted hip-hop culture, comparing his lane to a pop artist like Madonna, rather than an authentic urban rapper. He also frequently criticized Drake's emotional music style, perceived contradictions, and lack of connection to the real-life West Coast or street dynamics. To put it in perspective, he took Kendrick Lamar's side when it was the beef between him and Drake. And honestly, 99% of the rappers and or the audience in California took Kendrick Lamar's side.
That beef is for sure the most recent rap beef. You know what I'm saying? The Kendrick and Drake beef.
Real quick, as a follow-up, what was the reaction to Drake name-dropping you on Too Hard for the Radio?
Regulars. Regular.
When was the last time you talked to Drake?
Damn, bro, you got all the Drake questions. You can say that shit for the Drake press conference. Y'all motherfuckers trying to go viral and shit with y'all questions, huh?
I guess sometimes you gotta be living in these states to know what's really going on until they talk about it publicly.
LA rappers list in the thank you number 15.
This has a whole lot of Drake questions.
How do you feel about that ranking and where?
I got a shorty named Texas saying she got a bloody name, Young JB.
But some say 2 years ago, YG took shots at Drake on a track called Weird after he was name dropped in Family Matters. YG quoted, "When they smoke, don't ever mention my name. You won't have me jeopardizing my fame, jeopardizing the game, jeopardize where you hang, nigga."
When they smoke, don't ever mention my name. You gon' have me jeopardizing my fame, jeopardizing the game, jeopardizing with...
And honestly, I didn't know about that song until after I did my research for the story. So that do make sense on why Complex even one asked that question and why YG responded in that manner.
Most recent rap beef. You know what I'm saying? The Kendrick and Drake beef.
Real quick, as a follow-up, what was the reaction to Drake name-dropping you on Too Hard for the Radio?
Regular. Regular.
When was the last time you talked to Drake?
Damn, bro, you got all the Drake questions. You can say that shit for the Drake press conference. Y'all motherfuckers trying to go viral and shit with y'all questions, huh? I'm finna walk out this motherfucker.
So when YG reposted a tweet that said, "So Glasses Malone revealed some behind the scenes that Aubrey is doing the F with YG." According to him, Aubrey is funding propaganda and trying to get YG arrested for Draco the Ruler's demise. He also revealed there is more behind the scenes he's doing the world don't know about. Instantly after, YG had made a post, "Red alert, B-Team tap in." And of course, I'm not a gang member, so I have no idea what that means until reports was picking up that YG just put a hit on Drake, allegedly. Gang members talked to me. We're gonna make this one brief. In fact, that was the story on the West Coast rapper, who, according to people close to this situation, saying YG made it just put a spotlight on himself again after what some could perceive was a threat online. Made investigation for Draco. Not to mention people like Karen.
I don't think I think everybody just jumped to the conclusion. I don't think Drake got down. I don't know. Who knows, bro? I don't be around them niggas. I don't know what the hell going on. If that true, it don't sound like it's true though. Why would Drake put himself inside some damn gang shit that's going on? I don't know. I don't know, gang. Time to tell if somebody trying to bust a move. That's all I'm gonna say. If somebody trying to bust a move, time is about to tell. No cap. Cause Drake said he too hard for the fucking radio. That's what he said. Yeah, shout out to Drake. Hey, let's get into this Nolan Well news. His friends done started a goddamn GoFundMe, boy. His friends done started a GoFundMe. He say what? Started a GoFundMe. Hold up. Let me get that off here. Get that out of here. Yeah. Everything must go. Say his friends done started a GoFundMe gang. Let's go. Let's get into it. Let's dive into it.
I know this is gonna piss a lot of people off, man. This is gonna upset a lot of people. The
100,000.
The so-called friends of Nolan Wells, the boys he was last.
They raised $36,000 already, guys.
His friends Warren Hudson, they have went and put up a GivesendGo, requested $100,000, man. Now we just seen a couple of these things go up. Remember the girl who did the audio? The rapper girl who broke down the audio and cleared it up, the audio engineer, she said her family was getting threats and they also wanted $50,000. Now these boys are asked for $100,000. The parents have raised over $800,000, but of course that's the boy parents, man. But to see them come out with one is a little confusing, man. Now we remember Warren's dad came out and said he was putting up 50 bands for any information about, what happened in Nolan Wells. Well, now it seems like the boys, they go on a different route. In case anybody get that 50, they got a way to get that 50 back to look like. Now, let me go here real quick because it says fundraiser funds will be received by Taylor and Cox law firm. Okay, let's read what they got down here, man. I know a lot of people is blowing me up about this, man. Sco, you won't believe this. They asking for money now, fam. They saying they are victims of the Nolan Wells case, of the Nolan Wells death. They saying that, everybody online, his parents being Crump, they all accusing us, and now we feel like we need some money for being accused. It says stand with Nolan Wells targeted friends. So this is about friends being targeted. and they feel like they want to be compensated. It says, on Independence Day weekend of 2026, lives were changed forever when a group of friends lost their best friend, Nolan Wells. No family should have to endure the pain of losing a son, and no friend should have to grieve the loss of a brother. But instead of being allowed to mourn with
Class A CDL drivers, wait, don't skip this ad. You
All
need to
right,
hear
all
us
right,
out.
man.
My name is Maddie from J. Bozeman Enterprises.
Dang, bro. Come on, man.
what followed was the unprecedented online campaign of accusations, harassment, threats, and defamation. Let me see that since Nolan's death, Warren Hudson, Jack Patalo, Morgan Seymour, and many others have been inundated with death threats, threats of violence, and defamation. They have been falsely and wrongfully blamed by individuals online and the media of either directly or indirectly having a hand in Nolan's death. Most of them could not even attend their own best friend's funeral. Why? Because race baiters sent a deranged army after them online in the name of justice. Okay? So it's a lot to read here. It says, since the beginning of the investigation, these young men have cooperated with authorities, turned over all the information they had, and provided an overwhelming number of witnesses accounting for their whereabouts. Some of them even resorted to speaking up publicly to defend themselves against baseless allegations. But unfortunately, it has become clear that the truth doesn't matter. So y'all can see, look, they wrote a lot, man. They wrote a lot, man. They went through here, man. I mean, but you can see what it's about. You see what it's about, man. They basically saying we are now victims. We are victims of, being accused of doing something to Nolan Wells. So we want 100 bangers. Yeah. We want 100 bands for being accused of what happened to Nolan Wells. Now,
Salute gaming.
I don't think this was the best thing to do, man. I think this is kind of like mocking the family. Now, most people say, well, Sco, some people, look, there's people out there that actually believe these boys are innocent. Then you got a lot of people that say, no, these boys are guilty. Nothing's adding up. They're lying. You hear the CTO call, stories are changing, times ain't adding up. But to ask for $100,000 is kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like, it seems like y'all playing a game now. Now it feels like games are being played. We already heard the dad come out and say we've seen Warren Hudson's father, the husband of the judge, Ashley Cole, come out and say he was suing Benjamin Crump. I'm suing, fam. I'm suing. Now, I don't know if that's going to go through or not. I don't know if he's going to actually sue Ben Crump. But we also seen Warren Hudson's dad, say he wanted to put up $50,000 for any information leading to an arrest and what happened, or information about what happened to Nolan Wells. We saw where Tyler Perry, Al Sharpton, T.O. all put up $125,000 for a reward for anybody who has information on what happened to Nolan Wells as well. So in total, you got $175,000 out there for anybody who has information. Well, it doesn't seem like anybody has information because nobody's coming forward to get that money. Now, of course, a lot of people are saying Nolan Wells got on that boat. He left with his friends, and they feel like something happened. As Nolan got on that boat, from that point at 4:31, get back on the boat to traveling with his friends, they feel like something happened along the way. They feel like a fight broke out, something happened. You know what I mean? Nobody can really say. They feel like they did something to Nolan. Nolan most definitely got back on that boat, and Nolan was murdered and thrown off the boat, or maybe it was an accident. And they still just threw Nolan's body off the boat. Maybe they saw Nolan drowning and just didn't help him. They were all doing something they wasn't supposed to do, and everybody panicked and just went on without Nolan. Kept his phone, went on without Nolan, waited some time, called his mom, played this whole game. Like, have you seen Nolan? People feel like they had something to do with it now. The autopsy results are on the way, man, from the state of Mississippi. So we got to be patient, man. We got to be patient. The toxicology report is coming. We wait on that.
I feel what you're saying, me. Nobody saw nothing. I feel what you're saying.
Ben Crump is handed over.
Nobody saw nothing. All them people out there. I see what you're saying.
Was with the race, deleting any photos, any messages, anything on Snapchat, Instagram.
That is crazy though. Nobody saw
investigation right now. So as of right now, we just have to kind of sit back and wait, man. But what do y'all think about this right here, man? I don't really like it that much, man. I feel like this is kind of going overboard. I feel like all these kids
they're trying to cover it up.
Warren Hudson. Your mom is your dad's like a doctor. His mom is like a judge.
Who would be, if you think about it, we still won't. We probably won't know who bought the alcohol phone gang. Think about it. When we was younger, I ain't gonna say everybody. When some people was younger, I'm gonna say myself. When I was younger, nigga, I just get some of everybody to go in the store and get me some goddamn alcohol. So who knows who they got to go in and get, get the alcohol from? I'm gonna be honest. We ain't gonna find that out. We are not gonna find that out. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Most of these kids got money. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Nolan Wells' family was broke by any means, but they going through a lot right now. Having to, basically, deal with all this stuff going on with their son. But how do y'all feel about the boys putting up a GivesendGo for $100,000? I mean, like, it seems like right now, man, something ain't right about this, man. Something ain't right. Like I said, this doesn't say, oh, they're guilty. It just says right now they most definitely feel in some kind of way. They feel like, man, I guess they watch the parents, because if you look at the parents, let's see what the parents have made, man. Let's see what they raised. Let me see.
What's up, William?
Here is Nolan Wells. Let's see. They've raised. Okay, they almost at their goal. They had 100. They had 800,000.
Okay.
They got 50K more to go.
Nolan Wells them at 800,000.
A lot of money. I mean, going this way and that way behind.
Nolan Wells them is at 800,000.
Now a lot of people are saying, "Sco, them parents should give that money back, man, if they find out their son just drowned." But at this point in this case, y'all, I don't think that's ever going to be the scenario. I don't think nobody's going to ever say he just drowned. If the state of Mississippi comes out with an autopsy and say we found cocaine in his system, he was drunk, alcohol blood level through the roof, accidental drowning, I don't think nobody's going to accept that. I think people are going to say, no, he drowned, but somebody did something to him. Don't forget about the red discoloration in the back of his head that makes people think that, man, something happened. Did somebody punch him in the back of the head? Did somebody hold his head underwater? Did somebody kick him? Did somebody stomp him out? Was he beat up? So I don't think nobody's going to ever accept the fact that Nolan drowned if the state of Mississippi comes out and say that, which I'm pretty sure they are. I don't see them coming with nothing else, because it seems like right now is Nolan Wells' parents versus, Nolan Wells' parents and Ben Crump versus the state of Mississippi, including the DA's office, the judge, Ashley Cole. It seems like this is a back and forth thing right now. But like I said, Nolan's family has raised $800,000. But now we got this new GivesendGo by the boys, and they saying they even want 100,000, man. They want 100,000. So
they don't raise.
If they get 100,000,
if you're just coming in, these the Nolan friends.
That's almost $1 million.
They asking for 100,000.
Been raised behind.
They have raised 36,000.
We still don't even know it's called the death yet. Ain't that some? We don't even know the cause of death yet. It's been almost $1 million shunned down. This is crazy, man. We don't know the cause of death. Now, I'm not mad at his parents for what they doing. The boys, I'm not mad at them either. But it's just like, man, it is kind of weird though. I ain't gonna lie. This is awkward, man. This is almost like a spit in the face to the parents. But then again, if the boys are innocent, which they saying they are, they feel like what the parents is doing to them is a spit in the face to them. They said we couldn't even go to our own brother's funeral, man. We got nothing but love for our homie Nolan, and we didn't even get a chance to go send them off the right way, go say our final goodbyes. So they said we are the friends that have been targeted by everybody online, and we too want some money. Goddammit, give us 100 bands. Man, all I can say is rest in peace to Nolan Wells. Y'all make sure y'all jump in my comments, gang. How do y'all feel about this? Do y'all feel like Nolan Wells drowned, accidental drowning? Or do y'all feel like, no, Nolan Wells was murdered and his friends have something to do with it? What about Katie? How do y'all feel about Katie, man? On my channel, some people are calling her Shady Katie. Some people are saying, nah, man, Nolan never got on that boat. You need to go check in with Katie. That's why Katie started posting photos showing where she was there at 5:30, 6 o'clock. People saying, nah, Katie trying to set up an alibi, man. Y'all watch Katie is what some people are saying. Like I said, gang, when it comes to this story, I'm very unbiased. I just want the truth about what happened. Do I think this right here, the GivesendGo by the boys, is this a little shady? Yeah, this comes up a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this is a little weird. But either way, man, y'all.
How many feel that the GivesendGo is weird?
How do y'all feel about the Nolan Wells case?
Do y'all feel that's weird or not?
Was it an accident or drowning? How do y'all feel, man? We still waiting on answers, man. We are still waiting on answers. Ben Crump autopsy came back, undetermined. We are waiting on the state of Mississippi. And man, when that comes out, I'm telling you, things are finna go crazy. It's finna blow up. When that autopsy come out by the state of Mississippi, everybody's gonna go crazy, man. No matter what it say.
They say they're gonna present it in court,
man. And we're gonna keep pulling up right on the Sco Show, gang. Right here on Justin on the Sco. Make sure y'all subscribe to my platform. We going live every night, man. Breaking this thing down, going through everything online. We're going through everything, whether it's real, fake, no matter what it is, we're going to comb through it and see what we can keep and what we got to throw away. Because we're going to break this thing down the right way, gang. So salute to everybody in the building. I got this bright light in my face, man. Salute to everybody.
Hold up. Let's go to old boy right quick. Let's hear from him right quick. Because they saying, I see a lot of people, I'm reading the chat, and y'all saying about the drowning and everything. Let's hear from the medical examiner, gang. One more time. Let's hear from him. Let's hear from the medical examiner, gang. Let's hear from him, man. Let's hear from his medical examiner right quick, man. Because a lot of people want to know what's what. Okay. All right, bet. Everybody want to know what's what. Let's hear from his medical examiner. And can we trust this after this?
Autopsy that was conducted or paid for by the family. Is there anything that stands out to you that is suspicious?
Let's go. Let's turn this bit up. Let's stop by stop 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, another incredible.
Let's hear from stop 6 real quick.
To interview a medical examiner so that we can get some clarity on the autopsy. Obviously, preliminarily, we have the autopsy that was conducted by the state, and then we have the secondary autopsy that the family ordered. And I'm still confused about how this all is playing out. I don't know what is typical, what's not typical, what is suspicious. Is there anything suspicious? So I wanted to have a gentleman on that I think has an incredibly balanced perspective on this. His name is Dr. Kendall Crowns. He's the chief medical examiner in Tarrant County. For those of you who follow me know I was born and raised in Fort Worth, and my whole family live in Tarrant County. So it's kind of good to have a person from my hometown on the show. So help me welcome to the show, Dr. Crowns. Dr. Crowns, welcome.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
And so I just want to get to the bottom of as much as we can, because this is so dynamic. There's so many elements that we don't know. The state hasn't really produced a lot of information, and people who understand investigations know why they haven't. I don't believe that's anything nefarious. I think they're just doing their fair due diligence. But based on your expertise as a chief medical examiner, is there anything that stands out about the autopsy produced by the state that we know of, or at least the preliminary findings of that, and also the secondary autopsy that was conducted or paid for by the family? Is there anything that stands out to you that is suspicious in this, from what we know?
Well, so the difficulty we have at the present time is you have an ongoing investigation. You have findings from each autopsy. He's decomposed. The autopsy from the state hasn't issued any formal declaration. And then the secondary autopsy has had some findings, a reddening of the head, back of the head that they discussed. And then they mentioned the absence of the neck structures and other things. So right at this time, because of the investigation and no autopsy is performed in a vacuum, you have all these parts of the investigation that are still ongoing. And that is why everybody's kind of waiting to see where it goes. Because with a drowning, it's a diagnosis of exclusion, which basically means everything else has to be ruled out before you can say he drowned. Because right now, all we have is a young man found dead in the water and no explanation of how he got there or why he got there. And so until all these findings come into play and everything's kind of done with the investigation, toxicologies come back, histologies come back, which is the microscopic sections, all these factors, once they're all back, then we can finally come to a proper conclusion. But at the present time, we don't really have all the information to give an actual finding.
And so when it comes to the redness, Dr. Crowns, what does that actually mean? Because it appears from what I heard of Benjamin Crump's articulation of what the secondary autopsy found was that there was redness, I think, underneath the skin. There was no lacerations to the skin, no obvious signs of bruising or trauma to the external part of the skin. So what does that tell you? I mean, have you seen this in your time doing autopsies? What exactly is redness to the back of his head? What does that mean? And what exactly is he describing there?
To be honest, sometimes I actually have no idea what's going on until I open Monday.com. And boom, everything's there. Statuses, time.
So it's an interesting statement because Dr. Mitchell doesn't describe it as hemorrhage. He described it as a reddened area in the deep soft tissue of the occipital region of the head, which is the back of the head. There's a reddened area. Deep soft tissue could mean musculature. A reddened area could be hemorrhage, which could be from blunt force trauma. It could also be hyperextension of the neck for some reason, like he fell out of the boat, hyperextended his neck. And it can also be from decompositional changes. Breakdown of the muscular tissue can give this kind of reddened look to the tissue itself. And finally, it could just be postmortem pooling of the blood in that specific area, because after the decedent was found, he's going to be placed on his back, the autopsy is going to be performed, and then his body was transported to Washington, D.C., where it was then re-autopsied. And all this time it's going to be on its back. Blood's not drained out of the body at autopsy, so you could still see some pooling of the blood. But at this time, is it decompositional changes? Is it trauma? Or is it something else? We really don't know. And I assume Dr. Mitchell probably took sections of the tissue from that area to look at under the microscope to see if it is indeed trauma related. Now, your other question is could we see injuries on the skin surface? Yes, if he had had a bruise to that area, a laceration, which is a cut or a tearing of the skin, and an abrasion, which is kind of scratching the skin surface, you would still be able to see that. Even if he had been decomposed, you would still be able to see that. The only way it would disappear is if scavengers had eaten it away or he had decomposed so much he'd be skeletal. So if there was injury to the outer surface of his body, Dr. Mitchell and the initial medical examiner in Mississippi would have spotted that and would have made note of it.
So, but there is nothing noted in specific that it was any damage or bruising to the outer skin layer?
Not that I've seen on the report.
Do you think that, you know, after looking at the secondary report, obviously people have their own opinions about whether or not this is necessary or not. I find it to be reasonable to get a second opinion, especially when it's your child that have died. You know, you want to make sure that every stone is unturned. Do you find anything specific in the report from the secondary autopsy to be malicious, or do you think that everything that was written down seems to be consistent with what you would write if you had observed something similar to Nolan's death or his body? Because, you know, like the redness, bringing up that, maybe Benjamin Crump just didn't do a good job at explaining it, but it appears that bringing that up, was it necessary to not further explain in detail like you just did? Because I feel like it creates more concern or questions than it does answers. Is there anything mysterious about that, or do you think it's typical the way a medical examiner would articulate it, and it would take somebody that know what they're talking about to present it to the public instead of somebody like Benjamin Crump, who may not be as familiar with some of the details?
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head. The difficulty from the presentation by Mr. Crump of the initial findings from the second autopsy, it's difficult for him to articulate some of the words because some of them are very hard to pronounce. And then it's also interpretation, and it leads to more questions. And that's the problem by not having Dr. Mitchell standing there. He couldn't field the questions. He couldn't explain what he was thinking this reddened area in the deep soft tissues meant or anything of that nature. And you just have Benjamin Crump, who's not a doctor, telling the people what is found and no explanation, which leads to more confusion, more conspiracies, and more frustration. So it's helpful when something like this occurs for the actual medical examiner who did the second autopsy to be there to explain their findings for the people when they have questions. It clarifies things so you don't get all this speculation. Now, as far as the autopsy is concerned, I think Dr. Mitchell did a fine job. I don't think he put any language in his autopsy that was inflammatory or making accusations or anything of that nature. And I think he did a very, classy report to basically say, this is what I found and this is what I'm thinking. And he didn't even go as far as him saying undetermined, is basically saying, I don't have all the information right now. And if I have to give a cause of death, the best I can do is undetermined.
Yeah, that seemed fair to me. I think I'm consistent on that. When I was filtering through what Benjamin Crump was trying to read, I felt like it was very fair and it was very consistent with what I expected from the first autopsy being done, and no obvious signs of foul play, which what the law enforcement said. So there still could be something there.
Hey,
There still could be a
gang.
homicide that occurred. It's
Double
just
tap
that
that
initially
screen.
there's no obvious signs, and there was no obvious signs in the secondary autopsy. The throat situation is another thing that I don't understand, right? Initially, when it was projected to the public, people don't know exactly what was taken out of the throat, right? I mean, the external portion of the neck, if it wasn't extreme decomposition, or, you know, some animals, you know, took chunks out of it, the layer of the skin here is still intact. It's just the internal workings of the throat. Can you explain what was missing, and is that normal, or is that inconsistent with, you know, producing a body to a secondary autopsy, that the throat would be completely missing?
I built this website in 5 minutes with Wix Harmony. So I came across this image recently and thought to myself, what if I built an entire brand around?
Certainly. So when we're talking about the throat, you have the skin, of course, as you talked about. And then immediately underneath that skin, like within a quarter inch or so, is your hyoid bone, thyroid cartilage, trachea, mainstem bronchi. So it's your upper airway. Behind that's your esophagus. Sides of it are your internal jugular carotid artery. And then you have these muscles, they're called the strap muscles of your neck, and they help move your head around. So when you do an autopsy, you do a layered neck dissection. You cut the surface of the skin back, and then you peel each muscle up looking for hemorrhages, which would be signs of a strangulation or other blunt force trauma to the neck. And then you evaluate the areas that are the thyroid cartilage and the trachea, larynx, and hyoid bone for fractures. With a young individual like Mr. Wells was, these areas are not ossified, which means they're not bony, and they don't have a tendency to break in a strangulation until you get much further along in age. Probably around 50, you'll start seeing fractures. But at this age, they'd be very rubbery, so they wouldn't necessarily break unless there's an extreme amount of pressure put on them. But so you have these structures in the neck that you look at, evaluate for strangulations, the layered neck dissection of the muscles, looking for hemorrhage, looking at the thyroid cartilage for fractures, looking at the hyoid bone for fractures, and you take them all out during autopsy. And the thing is when you are concerned about something, or you think there might be a microfracture or something of this nature, you keep those structures, you put them in formaldehyde, and you give them a chance for all those, because when you take a tissue out at the time of autopsy, it can be very floppy or very soft. But when you let it fix in formaldehyde, it gets very stiff, and you can take better sections to look at under the microscope and evaluate for trauma. So it's not unusual for someone to save the neck structures, especially if there's some concern of foul play or something like that, and to evaluate them further. The other thing is some offices will actually even go further and have an anthropologist look at those neck structures, looking specifically at the bony changes to see if they see any microfractures. So it's not unusual for someone to take it. It's not done on every autopsy, but it's done in cases in which there is some suspicion or a possibility of foul play. And again, we have this gentleman, he's found after being missing, no one knows what happened, and he's found floating up. So maybe they're wanting to do their due diligence and go further and look at the neck structures even more microscopically to make sure there's no injuries. And then the fact that it's not there is the fact that they kept it to do this further testing, and then it's not available for Dr. Mitchell to look at it at his autopsy, which is a limitation for him. And then one thing about second autopsies is usually it's a collaboration, because the initial doctor wants to be right. And if a second autopsy is done, usually you talk with that doctor, you collaborate, and you make sure what they find you know about and you can incorporate into your case if you think it's of significance. and you can also give them information so they can put it in their case if they think it's of significance. That way, everybody comes to a proper conclusion.
Perfect. I just want to clarify something. So with the furthering of investigation on the neck area, are you saying that because they went to the next step or wanted to do due diligence, that they may believe that there's something there? Or could it be also, is it two phases or both, where they want to do due diligence, meaning that since the circumstances were undetermined or we don't know how he died, it is invaluable as a medical examiner to do due diligence to take that into consideration, even if it's not clear evidence of damage to the neck initially? Or are you saying that only if you see a concern that you would go that extra step? I hope I'm articulating that properly. Like, is this something where as a medical examiner you want to be thorough, so you do it anyway just to rule it out in cases that are suspicious? Or do you have to see something that leads you to say, I have to do a further investigation? If I don't see anything, I'm not going to do anything with the neck.
So it would be both.
Oh, look, Savage, I'm trying to be serious here.
Of course, you're going to take it out and do something.
I'm trying to be serious here, but I bust out just then, but you crazy.
More and do the extra
There's
testing.
only one Savage, though.
But if you don't see something,
y'all hold on
you're
right
very
quick, gang.
suspicious, like you have
I'm
a
still
young
keep it
man
playing.
who's at a party with a lot of people who's now found dead, and you don't know why, and one of the reasons can be strangulation or something along those lines, and you want to make sure you didn't miss something, then you do your due diligence and do the further testing. Because that's the problem with drownings, is there may be no findings other than he's dead in the water, and you have to figure out how he got there.
And the toxicology results, could the neck have something to do with the toxicology results, or is that not related whatsoever?
So toxicology results will be from testing of blood, a fluid in the eyeball called vitreous. Some offices use gastric contents and urine and even bile, but it won't have anything to do with the neck structures.
And when it comes to the toxicology results, is there how long does it take for the medical examiner, someone like yourself, to get from doing an examination to then having toxicology done and results sent back to you for evaluation?
So it depends on the jurisdiction, but standardly it's about 6 to 8 weeks for toxicology to come back. It can come back quicker if there's nothing to be found, but usually if they are finding some things, it'll take 6 to 8 weeks. And I would also say if there is any decomposition in Mr. Wells, which I think they've alluded to, there can be decomposition production of alcohol by the bacteria that's breaking down your body. So he will have an alcohol level that can be actually, he could have had no alcohol in his system, but it'll show alcohol, or the alcohol he had in his system will be even higher because of the decomposition.
Yeah, are you able to determine how much alcohol could have been metabolized based on some mathematical structure, or how do you know what the difference is? Like, somebody, the cause of death could have been, maybe they drank too much and they died from alcohol poisoning. But then they die and they decompose, and then their alcohol concentration is even greater. Are you able to determine the alcohol that was drunk while the person was alive versus the alcohol that's been created through
no
decomposition?
You can't tell the difference. Yeah, you can't tell the difference.
But
it's just you can look at the body and say, they're in a moderate state of decomposition. They've got bloating, they've got green discoloration, skin slippage, and then their blood alcohol comes back at a 0.10 or a 0.08, and then you can be like, well, decomposition could have elevated that, or it could all be from decomposition. It'd be difficult to say.
Oh, okay. So there's no mathematical equation of alcohol produced through decomposition, or from a week versus a day, or there's no, like you drink alcohol and there's a certain way the body metabolizes alcohol over time, so you can kind of do a reverse mathematical equation and say, okay, if this person has alcohol here, and we can deduce that the person's alcohol level was this because they metabolized at this rate. So there's no rate of alcohol production from decomposition.
That's correct. There's no formula. You couldn't predict it.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, do you ever see, or have you ever seen a situation where you predicted that it had to have been from decomposition because the alcohol concentration or alcohol level was so high when a person has been found dead after a week or so? You know, because you say, well, if it's a 0.2 something and he's been dead for a week, well, I guess the body would metabolize it if you're dead. So the alcohol concentration is going to be very difficult to determine if he was intoxicated when he died or it had no result at all.
Right. So whenever you drink a beer, it's a can of beer, a shot of hard liquor, or like whiskey, a glass of wine. It elevates your blood alcohol 0.02%, and then you metabolize at a rate of 0.02%. So you drink one glass, you wait an hour, your blood alcohol is back to 0. So when you die, you don't continue to metabolize the alcohol you had in your system. So if you died at a 0.08%, you will be 0.08%. But as the decomposition occurs, your blood alcohol level will elevate. So you'll go from that 0.08 to a 0.18. And in the literature, it says it usually gets to about a 0.1, depending on how decomposed they are. But they've even found people getting up to a 0.19. So we have to, anytime the body's decomposed and we get an alcohol level back, we have to look at it and be like, well, they are decomposed, so I don't know if it was really that high. One of the things you can look at is the liver. Is when you drink, it causes basically damage to your liver, and the liver compensates by creating fat in the liver. So instead of the liver being this kind of brownish red coloration, it gets this yellow, bright yellow look to it. So in a binge drinker type situation, we might see this big kind of greasy yellow liver, and then we'll get the alcohol level. And yes, it's elevated by decomposition, but we can also say, well, there is a component of that is from alcohol because of the changes in the liver. So in decomposition, you get kind of this correlation between physical findings in the organs versus the toxicology results, and then you just kind of try and make your best opinion. And that is ultimately what we are giving as our opinion.
So the inconsistencies in potential alcohol concentration of blood alcohol, will there be adversity when it comes to other forms of drugs or other things in his system that may be noteworthy? Is decomposition something that hurts the findings of those things as well? Like, just say if he had cocaine in his system, would decomposition hurt the ability for you to find that to be conclusive that it was cocaine, or could it be washed away through decomposition?
So cocaine you can still find it in decomposition. In fact, when the body starts forming blisters from decomposition, the fluid in the blisters will still have the cocaine in it. So that is one thing we can look for. There are other drugs that can be affected as far as their levels are concerned, but you can still find them even with decomposition, like methamphetamine, ecstasy, fentanyl, all the things that are popping up lately, metragenine, all those can be found still even in decomposition. It does alter the levels, but you can still find it. So you might not be able to say definitively, well, they died from a fatal amount of this particular drug, but you were able to find it.
And could there be a scenario, and I think you would be the expert that can articulate this, because I'm pretty sure you've seen it in being in Tarrant County. Could there be a scenario where we end this autopsy undetermined, where the medical examiner from the state and also the secondary medical examiner says, hey, all of the things have come out, these are the things that we're concerned about, but we're still at this point undetermined. And maybe that's just concluded as an undetermined cause of death.
Yeah, that is a distinct possibility. Of course, he's in the water, so it's more likely than not the drowning will be some form of the cause of death. But the manner of death could ultimately be undetermined no matter what happens, because, again, without knowing how he got in the water, you can't determine a manner of death. But you know he died, he was in water. They can say drowning definitively, but why he's in the water is the problem, and that's where the manner comes in. So I think ultimately you could see them saying the cause of death, but you may never have a manner at all. It may always be undetermined in this case.
Perfect. Doctor, last question. What is the biggest myth or conspiracy that you heard surrounding this autopsy? Because I've heard a lot of things out there, and of course, you know, I'm bombarded with information on a day-to-day basis, whether it's real or not, AI and all kind of stuff. But what one of the biggest things, or some of the biggest things that you've seen that this autopsy has been characterized as, that even the medical examiner like yourself would like to clarify or say, hey, this is what I would tell the public to do to better understand this and not get caught up in conspiracies?
You really need to talk to Why Refi. Why Refi refinances distressed or defaulted private student loans.
Certainly. I mean, the two main things to me is the reddened area in the deep soft tissue is being interpreted as definitive blunt force trauma. No one has said that. No one has come out and said, you know, we've looked this over and we've determined that this is indeed hemorrhage in the deep soft tissue, and we believe it's from blunt force trauma. All we know is it's a reddened area. It could be a number of things. And then the second thing is the fact that they kept certain organs or the neck tissue, that they're obviously covering something up. I don't think that the state medical examiner was doing anything nefarious in that. Of course, I don't know them. I've never, you know, worked with them. But standard practices, doing autopsies myself, I know people will keep certain structures for certain reasons, and it has nothing to do with covering things up.
Dr. Kendall Crowns, thank you so much
Well,
for
he
coming
done
on the
spoke,
show.
gang.
I really appreciate you giving your expertise.
He said he don't think nobody cover it up. Do y'all believe him? Do y'all believe the medical
examiner
examiner, gang?
Because I just really...
Do y'all believe the medical examiner, gang? Do y'all believe him? Is he speaking facts or what? Did he speak facts? Or y'all say y'all ain't believing what the medical examiner say neither. Y'all let me know in the chat, gang. Let me know if y'all believe in him or not.
That their family, Nolan Wells' family, is serving his friends notices. I will tell you this. If and when we find out that somebody was involved or somebody knew about it, they should sue not only them, but they should sue Brandon Tatum too. This dude right here,
Man.
the
They're
reason
going
that
against
they would
Stop
speak
6.
to him as opposed to law enforcement is because he is a listening ear. He's a sympathetic ear.
I only interviewed 2. So are you saying, D.L. Hughley, out of your mouth, that they talk to me instead of talking to law enforcement? Is that your position? You better correct it. Because if not, if that's your position, you are lying, because they talk to law enforcement before they ever talk to me. I'm engaging with them like 2 weeks after this happened. I want to tell you guys about Shenergy.
All right, man.
That's clean,
We don't
75
want to, come on,
milligrams of
man.
caffeine, nootropics that help you with focus, so you don't crash and have all that crazy stuff in your drinks. You don't need to do that. That's over time.
All right, bet.
We'll get your money back.
All right.
Here's DL Crybaby Hughley. He should be interviewing that dude that... Let me not say that.
Let's go. Get the lights up, gang. Let's get into it.
Roll it.
It's interesting that Brandon Tatum is welcome in Mississippi when Ben Crump and Al Sharpton are not, for the exact same reason that Stephen A. Smith is welcome at ESPN and Ryan Clark are not. Is not.
I'm welcome in Mississippi by who? I just talked to boys and got out of there. Benjamin Crump spent the week there and did a press conference there. Who said he wasn't welcome? Who told him he couldn't be there? The governor didn't say he couldn't be there. The prosecutors didn't say he couldn't be there. They just said he had came and pushed racism and division in the community and left. You're just making this up, DL. Keep rolling.
Anybody who says or asks questions, you talk about a state that got mad because tried to read. And now the new extrapolation of that, the new extension of that is people having internet.
Somebody go check on DL. I be just making up stuff. The state don't want people to read. What's she saying to me? The state don't want people to read. Mississippi, it's so racist in Mississippi, they don't want people to read out there. He's saying they don't want black people to read. Because last time I checked, Mississippi has 2 major universities there. But you wanted to be about a black-white thing. You wanted to act like black people can't. Nolan could read. Nolan and all his black friends go out there at white schools, living their best life. But somehow DL think it's racist. You ain't even been to Mississippi. Can't point to a single thing in Mississippi. Let me just give you the stat and I'm going to let him finish because there's a couple more clips. Y'all think about this. What, 3,500 black people have been murdered in the last 10 years by other black people in Mississippi. And yet, they ain't mentioned not one black person that's been murdered in Mississippi. Not one. I think if you look at the death toll of black people in Mississippi, who's the most responsible for killing black people in Mississippi? Is it the white man? Is it the sundown town, the clans, or is it other black people? Clearly, 98% of every black person that's been killed in Mississippi been killed by another black person. But the boogeyman is the white man. Why? Continue.
And you know why I can't, that Brandon, I'm not going to call myself Officer Tatum, because it's sucker to call yourself the job you used to have. It is. If we were together and we ain't no more, I'm your ex, right? Yeah. Right? I'm your ex.
Not with him. He's still your boyfriend.
That's how you know. When you're a black man, they make you hold the shit you used to be, so it holds weight now. It holds weight now. I'm not knocking this dude. He looks like the kind of man that would have to marry a white woman. He does. He does. He looks like anytime a man called himself what he used to be, he was a football player and failed at that. Then he found his way into police work, right? Now he's out of that. Now he's always looking for the same adulates and same cheers he used to get on the football field. And usually them came from white coaches. So he's only doing what he's been trained to do.
Whoa. What's that?
DL Hughes, y'all agree with DL? It sound like y'all agree with DL. He going at stop 6. He going at that boy stop 6.
Now, I want to address each one of these. This is why these people are nonsensical. We can go back to the very beginning of what he's saying, that I'm a man that can only marry a white woman. What are you trying to say about, are you disparaging white women? Are you trying to say that a white woman can't get a good man? Or that white women are only marrying men who are less than? Are you saying that another brother is less than when you're supposed to be Mr. Black, black community? I'm less than because I married a white woman? Now, I grew up in the black community, you fake Negroes. Don't try to play me. I'm the Negro whisperer. I'm the whistleblower. I know how they treat black people in the hood that ain't all black. That's mixed. Yeah, light-skinned brothers. How they get treated. I know when I was growing up, you couldn't bring a white girl home or people would trash you. That's racism. Then you mad if a white person say you can't bring a black girl home, which you ain't never gonna hear no white people on TV saying it. But you hear this dude got a big old podcast saying that it's wrong to marry a white woman if you black. It's crazy. And let's go to the football and stuff. Most of your coaches were white coaches. Dude, I went to Paul Laurence Dunbar High School. And my coach was white at Paul Laurence Dunbar High School because that white man loved us more than black people did. Coach Jones loved us more and gave us more opportunity than black people did. And black people hated Coach Jones when he first got there. But what did Coach Jones produce out of that university, out of that high school that black people could never do, is that, and it happened since Coach Jones left. When Coach Jones was there, we had 9 D1 football players on our team. 4 of us were U.S. Army All-Americans. Ernest Mason, DJ Davis, my brother Bobby, and me were all U.S. Army All-Americans on one team. Never in the history of the United States of America, well, at least we were the first in the history, to have 2 U.S. Army All-Americans on one team. Now, I'm not saying it ain't, because I don't live in that world of black and white. That dude was a good man. You brought his race up. Coach Hughes was a black coach on the basketball team, the most winningest coach ever in basketball history in the United States of America. He was a black guy. Coach Jones, Coach Hughes got along. We ain't had no problem with that race stuff. And then, when I went to the University of Arizona, the strength and conditioning coach, Coach Edmond, was a black man. We saw him, we loved him, we had more involvement, and he invested in our lives as athletes more than our head coach did and our defensive back coach. So what are you talking about? A black man was the one that did our strength and conditioning and made sure we were equipped to get on the football field. Nobody's thinking about that stupid stuff.
And then let's talk about my career on the police department. I didn't fail as a football player, and then I ran to the law enforcement officers. No, dude, I played college football. I was a U.S. Army All-American. I played at the University of Arizona. I was in the NFL draft. I didn't get drafted, and I didn't pursue it. I didn't love football enough to keep pursuing it. And that's fine, because I'm probably more successful now than I would ever been as a football player. I'm more successful than just about any football player that I played with that's not playing football no more. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, then I went to policing because I needed a job. And as a grown man, I wasn't going to sit around and make excuses and not have income coming in for my child. So I said, I'm going to do what it takes to make it happen. I became a police officer. I love being a police officer. It was the greatest thing that I've ever done in my life. It was the most honorable thing I ever did in my life. I was putting my life on the line, saving black people, while people like D.L. Hughley telling jokes. You would never be able to be the man that I am, ever. You would never be able to say that you put your life on the line for anybody. Now, I did that. I love that. I was the youngest PIO in the history of Tucson Police, the Tucson Police Department, as a black man. All you haters out there on a majority white police department. Then I was on a SWAT team. I was a field training officer. I taught new officers how to be officers. I mean, you can go down the list. Before I left, I was getting ready to promote, or at least to test to promote, to become a sergeant. I never wanted to be a detective. I can't sit in the office all day. I needed to be on a SWAT team and be active. And I was going to end up being a sergeant. What are you saying, bro? You don't know what you're talking about. God decided to move me in a different direction. And now I got more influence than I can dream of. Billions of views on YouTube. God knew what he was doing. But y'all don't believe in God, so you still going in a circle in your life. Which you've been doing this my whole life and ain't done nothing. You still ain't the top comedian. And did everything that you could dream of doing in I don't know, in a decade.
Oh, is he stepping on some toes? Is he stepping on DL toes?
Let him finish.
Is he stepping on DL toes? Is Tatum going in or what?
And now to get there, and this dude's talking about he was on cocaine, and listen to this.
Someone close to Nolan, one of his friends, told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person. This person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time. Pause it. Now, why don't DL play the whole clip? Ask yourself this question. They want to be right so bad that they willing to cut pieces and lie. I clearly said in the beginning, somebody else said this. And then I go on to say, I don't believe this. I'm just giving you guys as a journalist what people are coming and telling me and claiming these things. So if it comes out, you know that these people that are talking to me know more about this than what the people are alluding to. And then I said, I'm not accepting this until the toxicology results come out. He knows, because he has the clip, what I said, but he leaves it out so he can frame it as something that I did not say. I never made the claim that he was on cocaine. I never made that claim. But when people are coming and talking to me and they're showing me that this person said this, and they're giving testimony from people.
Want to start a podcast, but not sure how? Riverside has got you covered. First, go to Riverside.
Get the lights up, gang. Let's get the 50 lights, gang, right quick.
That I think people need to be paying attention to.
Hit that sub button for me. Light sub button.
Continue.
He was, in fact, on cocaine.
We over here rocking out. Voice your opinion in the chat. Hit the super chat. Hit the gifts. Voice your opinion. Go ahead.
If he were a 50-year-old dude doing it, established-year-old dude doing it, it would be a blight. But all of us, I've done cocaine, right? Wait a minute. Wait. Hold up. I've done cocaine. You've done cocaine, right? No. When you from Africa, you all know what you did.
I have not done cocaine.
Okay.
And GTA. And GTA.
First of all, my mama watching this show.
And GTA.
Hey, you ain't supposed to be saying shit like this. Okay, how about we just say everybody here has done
Okay, that's better. The most salient point of it, we used to do something.
Okay.
There you go.
You're trying to rely. I guarantee you that if that little boy did that, everybody else, if he did cocaine and he didn't come there with it, they gave it to him.
right, let me just this.
What y'all think? Y'all think he gave it? That somebody gave it to him?
Everybody, I took. He said
if he did it
cocaine.
Allegedly. Hold on. Wait. if Nolan Wells did that game, y'all think allegedly? Now I'm just saying if he did it, y'all think somebody gave it to him or what, gang? Let me know if it's true.
Dude, I thought you was trying to make a point. How you gonna say? And I said something about it, right? This is what he did to me. He said, Brandon should be ashamed of himself saying that Nolan took cocaine. I never said it. People had told me that he did it. That's their statements. And I made it very clear. But then in the second sentence, he acts like taking cocaine is not a big deal anyway. He said he took cocaine. Then he tried to say everybody on the show must have took cocaine. And so why are you mad at me if I said that somebody told me Nolan took cocaine? Why are you mad at me when you saying it's okay to take cocaine and that you took it and you think the best time to take it is when at Nolan's age? You saying everybody on the show is taking cocaine and you say cocaine ain't a big deal. And if he did take cocaine, somebody gave it to him. Which is exactly what I mentioned in the thing that I said. Somebody told me that there was somebody giving out cocaine.
And GTA.
And that his name has been out there, but I'm not putting it out there because the authorities need to do that. But I said somebody was giving out cocaine based on what people are. I said that somebody told me people were giving out cocaine, which would be an indicator that somebody needs to go to jail for giving underage people or people cocaine in the first place. But y'all don't care about the person who committed the crime. You care about talking about me. Why don't we go after the person that potentially gave Nolan and other people cocaine, potentially, based on what somebody said? Why y'all mad at me? Why don't you go after the guy that did it? How about you acknowledge that this is what people are saying so it may give you some idea of what could have happened to Nolan? Instead of y'all just blaming the white boys, maybe there's a guy that gave Nolan cocaine and maybe he OD'd on cocaine or something. And if that's the case, then why don't we pursue the person who gave it to him and put them in jail?
Is that in the autopsy?
I don't care about nobody going to jail for this.
Is that in the autopsy?
White man bad and B. Tatum is a sellout. Roll the clip.
They say you a sellout, Tatum.
Right here,
I don't feel that way about it. I don't feel that way about Tatum.
Law enforcement is because
I ain't got no dog in the fight.
Ear. He's a sympathetic ear.
He's a safe ear.
He's a safe. And the only reason people are right with black people is if they safe. They're predictable.
I ain't gonna lie, I like his AI stuff. That's pretty cool.
Tatum just damn stating the obvious. A lot of people mad at Tatum, but to me, he just stating the obvious. That's just my opinion.
Brother, you just said, can we start the clip? I mean, just go back to the clip the part, and I'm gonna be done with the segment. We'll get to the last video. But go back to where D.L. Hughley said they talked to him.
Cause think about this game. The reason why, hold up, Tatum.
I want you to go back to that.
Hold up, Tatum. This is my show here. But listen, hold up, listen. Think about this though, guy. I'm gonna say this real quick. We're gonna keep going. So we got more content to get into about Nolan. But listen, I'm gonna say this. My opinion, y'all can get mad at me. It's just my opinion, because y'all got y'all opinions. Officer Tatum, I just feel like, bro, he just listen, y'all, gang. Fuck all that. I'm just say this. What if it do come out and he right? Just think about it now. And y'all can be mad. Oh, I don't care. Y'all gonna have your opinion. What if it come out that them boys is innocent, gang? What if it come out like that now? That's all I'm saying. What if everything Officer Tatum been saying and trying to preach to everybody and everybody get mad at him? I understand everybody gonna have their opinions and everybody they're entitled to their opinion. That's how I feel. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I understand that. Because everybody want to know what really happened. But, gang, we really don't got nothing to go with to put these boys in jail. What we got to put these boys, I'm talking about that we could present to a jury. Right now, let's say if they had court tomorrow. If we got court tomorrow, if they had court tomorrow, what they got right now they could present to the jury to lock these boys up for clear, cutthroat murder. What do we got to lock these boys up? Tomorrow now we gotta present this tomorrow in court to a jury. All the evidence y'all been saying, everybody been saying on the internet, I ain't saying y'all, I'm just saying, people on the internet, everything, what evidence that we can that can prove to the jury that these boys need to be locked up. We need hard evidence. We need hard evidence. Salute. I think I seen Florida in that bit there. Salute Florida. Salute everybody in here. I'm just being honest, gang. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Y'all can be mad at me. I understand. But let's go though.
Because I want Warren's lawyer, and we'll send it to Warren's lawyer, and we're gonna send it to the world so people can see when these boys start suing these people for lying, not reporting something somebody said. You lied, DL. It's a proven lie, and you better redact this because you just lied on them. The part where he said they talked to Brandon instead of law enforcement. Roll the clip.
Free housing, we have free food. You get a taste of freedom here, of actual independence.
Free education, free training.
The education is...
This dude right here, the reason that they would speak to him as opposed to law enforcement is because he is a listening ear. He's a sympathetic.
So you're saying, DL, that they didn't talk to law enforcement? You're saying that they said that? You said they. I only interviewed 2. So are you saying, DL Hughley, out of your mouth, that they talked to me instead of talking to law enforcement? Is that your position? You better correct it. Because if not, if that's your position, you are lying, because they talked to law enforcement before they ever talked to me. I'm engaging with them like 2 weeks after this happened. They already talked to law enforcement. Law enforcement already interviewed 60 people 2 weeks ago, including Warren and a bunch of other boys that did a computer voice stress analysis, which is equivalent of a lie detector test, or equivalent of a polygraph test. Just a polygraph is a little more intrusive, but it's still used by almost every department, modern department around the country, to hire everybody that they hire. It's not really admissible in court, but it's used for reasonable suspicion and finding out is somebody being truthful or not. But my dog, they already interviewed these boys. I'm 2 weeks of getting that message to the public, and you on your thing lying. This is why y'all believe they did it, because you don't even know the facts. Last clip, roll it.
And if and when, and somebody's going to have done something, if and when, and now I understand that the family, Nolan Wells' family, is serving his friends notices. I will tell you this: if and when we find out that somebody was involved or somebody knew about it, they should sue not only them, but they should sue Brandon Tatum too. You inserted yourself in that. You want to bite of this? Why don't you take your part? I guarantee that you should have a part of it, because that's what happens. You wanted to be an influencer? Okay, play that game. You wanted to. I have never, like the one thing, and I'll leave it here, because he said, you can't make me hate white people. I would never want you to hate anybody. I'm not asking you to hate white people. I'm asking you who made you hate us.
When he said he hated black people,
I love my mama.
When
my mama do, I love
when
my
officer, I mean, when Stop Six said that, gang.
I just got
when
my
did
daddy
Stop Six say that?
In
he
Vegas, he had a really good time with my stepmama.
I need to see these facts.
In Vegas, doing their thing for my father's birthday.
I get tired of just hearing this and hearing that. I need to
talk to
see
my daddy
facts.
at least every week. My mama lived with us.
I appreciate that gift.
She lived out in Arizona with us.
Appreciate that gift, Miss Law.
I take care of my mama. Don't have to worry about nothing. That's a black woman. Are y'all mad at me? My uncles them agree with me. My Uncle Derek don't agree all the time. But my uncles agree with me. I don't like them black people. Niece and nephews.
He said it.
Birthdays and stuff just came up. I support them. My cousin that went to prison, I told you he went to prison, you know, and that's, you know, his case to litigate. But he's been in prison for like 14, 15 years. I support his daughter when got her first car. I helped get her first car. And I put money on his books. It secures J-Pay. Now they moved to Secures. I don't know, for like 3 or 4 years now. 3 years now? I max his books out every month. But I don't like black people. I just don't like you nut jobs. You fake folk. I started Blexit In 2018, to support and help the black community, we had chapters in 50 states where we do back to school drives and everything for the black community. The problem was some of y'all black folks don't even want to participate in things that help black people. So we had a whole bunch of white people and Mexicans volunteering their time to help black people in Blexit organization. I was responsible for taking the first black conservative leaders to the White House, 400 of them. I helped raise money. Shout out to the white people that gave. I got one black man to give $20,000. We had to raise $400,000 to get 400 black people. It was about $1,000 a piece because we covered travel, hotel stay.
Salute to everybody in there.
The White House.
Salute
President
Candy.
Trump
Salute Derek. Salute everybody.
We had to raise money so they
Are
didn't
we
have
in
to
here
worry
tonight?
about it. We could scholarship them.
Get the lights up for me, gang. Let's get me the 50 lights. Get me in that algorithm, gang.
They didn't even have a dress because they never been anywhere formal. My wife.
We need to be at 100 lights, really.
Got one young lady a formal dress, bought her a dress so she can go to the White House. Y'all just don't like us black people. You think I don't like you ignorant ones. You can't say that I don't love black people. You can't say all the things that I've done for black people. Sicaria Turner, her family, she gets shot in the Jack in the Box parking lot. D.L. Hughley probably never mentioned her name. Young girl gets murdered. Her mama don't have a cell phone. Her mama car shot up, so they don't have no transportation or nothing. Her daughter dies in her arms. She had $14,000 in her GoFundMe. And y'all don't want nobody paid for it. No, I'll take that back. She only had 14 in her thing. Tyler Perry paid for her funeral. I raised $230,000 for her. But I don't care about black people. The black officer they getting ready to fire because a white person said something shady to him. They getting ready to fire this black man. They took his gun and everything. We raised $75,000 for him. What are you talking about, bruh? What are you talking about? All the black candidates are running for office that we've supported. But y'all, you know, D.L. Hughley don't do nothing for it. I'm trying to get to the bottom of what happened to a young black man that died at Horn Island. Y'all trying to get to the bag and get to racism. I'm getting to the bottom of it. Y'all didn't dare go interview nobody because you too racist to care. I'm not looking at race. I'm looking at results.
Let's go to Nancy Grace right quick. He said he looking at results. Y'all better stop playing with Stop 6, man. Y'all better stop playing with Stop 6, man.
Too quiet, even at
y'all
100%.
Stop 6. Y'all say y'all got him effed up, gang.
It boosts volume.
Let's hear from Nancy Grace right quick. Let's hear from her right quick.
They had articulated to me that it wasn't abnormal for people not to snap and not
Let's hear
to
from
do a
Nancy
lot of
Grace right
pictures
quick.
and things like that because they were focused on
But you
being
told me
off of the
they
main
showed
man.
you pictures
Hey,
and
appreciate that
videos.
314. Appreciate the subs. Appreciate everybody.
When you're talking about Snapchat, you're talking about a platform where people are uploading images and pictures to produce to the world. It's not abnormal for people not to snap. It's not abnormal for you not to have your phone. And Nolan wasn't the only person that left his phone on the boat. Go to TatumStore.com.
Appreciate that Gil 314.
If you want to get some cool merch, we got a whole bunch of really good stuff on there. And always send us a message in the support line if you got suggestions on merch. We'll love to take your suggestions, and we'll love to give you some love if it was something that we actually use.
Joining us, special guest, Brandon Tatum. You know him well. He's a former police officer with Tucson PD. That's
Appreciate
what
that Gil
impresses
for
me.
314.
What impresses a lot of other people is he is the star of The Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum, thank you for being with us tonight. Question to you. You interviewed, as we played at the get-go, several of Nolan's friends. Did they show you photos, videos, snaps
Appreciate
of
that Gil
that
314.
day on Horn Island?
Well,
Appreciate that,
thank you so
gang.
much for having me on. I spoke to 4 of the boys that are originally accused of being involved in Nolan Wells' death. And they did show me a lot of evidence. I want people to be very clear with this. I spent my career putting people in jail. My career is based on getting justice for people who have been done wrong. I've never been a defense attorney. So me going out and doing this was to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And in talking to these young men, the burden of proof is they're going to have to prove to me. I'm not going to listen to what they say out of their mouth. They're going to show me. And in many cases, they showed me videos of Nolan on the island. They showed me videos of the boat when they were getting towed
Appreciate
out,
that
which is
314.
consistent with, kind of similar to what the phone call was. I mean, they showed me pictures of them with Nolan. They showed me phone records of them calling Nolan's mom and all of the above. So they seemed very
Appreciate that
consistent.
314.
They seemed very genuine, and they also proved to me some of the things that they had told me in the interview that I had with them that I have uploaded on my YouTube channel.
Officer Tatum, are you telling me that they had reception on Horn Island? Because many people are saying, well, the reason that there's nothing on Nolan's phone of that day, like there's no pictures, there's no snaps, there's no text, there's no anything, not because it was deleted, but because he didn't have reception. But you're telling me the other boys did have snaps, photos, videos, and reception?
Yeah, no, Nancy, let me clarify this for you. It wasn't that they uploaded this online. They showed me videos and things that they took from the boat.
Appreciate that 314.
The outing on 4th of July. I was personally out at Horn Island. I rode out there on a boat, and I didn't have great reception there. And I left my phone in the boat when I got into the water, and we were actually going out to do interviews.
Objection. Objection. You've been in court long enough to know you're going to get objections. You said you didn't have great reception, but you did have reception, did you not?
No, there was reception there. It just wasn't great, and it wasn't great enough for people, in my opinion, to upload. You can make a phone call, potentially, but you wasn't going to upload data to a social media account. Now, could people take the steps to do it if they're dedicated enough? Yes, but it doesn't appear that would have been a frequent thing, given the fact that you probably had 1 or 2 bars out there. And I heard evidence of that. Not only did I see evidence of it when I went out there myself personally with my cell phone, when I listened to the CETO call, you could tell that the call dropped out several times. It seemed like they were having trouble at times hearing each other. So it is consistent. And anybody that travel out there that have gone to the 4th of July celebration, they know that the reception is not very great. So the videos that they showed me in call logs were things that were not associated to social media, that they never posted on social media. It was, pictures and videos that they took on the phone.
Okay. Let me refine my question. I take it from your last answer that the answer is yes, you had reception on Horn Island.
Yes, I did.
Okay, Nancy. Okay, Nancy.
We just played that CETO call.
Get the lights up, gang.
It's 2 words, SEATOW, and it's kind of insurance that people have that are boat goers. And if you have a problem, CETO will come and tow you back to the mainland. They said they had a problem. They said they were taking on water. One of your takes is that all the chatter that we're hearing, wake up Nolan, are you dead, Nolan, wake the F up, Nolan, could be referring to the battery, the bilge on the boat, that it's all unclear. Regarding the boat being disabled, apparently it was not. Listen.
So first, at 9:56 a.m., the boat leaves the original dock. It arrives at Horn Island at 11:14. So at around 4 o'clock, there is a call to the Coast Guard about the boat. NBC News got a hold of it.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
Everybody's on board. So does that mean Nolan is on there? Who was on that boat? At 4:31, the boat leaves Horn Island and it is towed approximately 3 miles, and then the tow ends. So after 3 miles, they go back to the original
I appreciate
dock,
that gift,
okay?
314.
They arrive at 5:44 p.m. So it looks like this is where Horn Island is, and this is where the original dock is that I am referring to. I looked it up, and El Camino Real Road is in Gulf Hills, Mississippi. which is right above
If you want to become a member, it's free.
So I'm wondering
it's
if
free
this
right
is the
now.
house
Click the membership if you want to become a member.
phone.
You get a free
Now,
month
the boat
if you want to become a
travels
member
to Fort
of the channel.
Bayou.
Salute,
At
gang.
6:06, the boat
Salute
returns
everybody
to
in
the
here.
original dock. Then, from the original dock, the boat goes back to Fort Bayou, and then they go to the boat launch, and it is put onto the trailer and moved by the vehicle. Did they drop people off at the original dock, travel to Fort Bayou, pick somebody up, and go back to that original dock?
Click my,
And then
go on my
from
page
there,
and just
why
click
was
join.
there
It's
an
gonna say
hour
join.
and 13
Then you
minute
can join the
time gap?
membership.
This boat was sinking hours before, and then they're just having it docked for an hour and 13 minutes. You would think they'd want to get that boat out of the water ASAP.
Yo, I just typed that in and it made the whole track? Nah, this wild.
That from the real TikTok detective. The boat wasn't sinking.
Hey, William.
They told Cito it was.
William Lynch.
What's the truth?
Tell
Was it sinking
314 how you got your
Did they
membership.
have a leak and they repaired it and kept on SOP? Brandon Tatum joining us, former cop, now star of The Officer Tatum. Did the young man explain those travels we just identified?
Oh shit, my bad. Hold up. I gotta restart my damn thing right quick. Hold up, guys. I should be done doing that. Okay, we back. We back, man. My fault. We back. It's Saturday. We back in this bit, man. We back in this bit. We back. We had some technical difficulties real quick. My fault. Gotta re-sign in and shit. I need to get me another thing anyway. Hold up. Let's go. All right, I'm coming. God dang, bro. What's it? Whoa, take it easy, man.
Abnormal for people not to snap.
I don't know if y'all ever saw Drake and Josh.
Things
That
like
nigga
that
said
because
it
they
on
were
there. Hold up.
focused on.
But you told me
Hold up,
they
gang.
showed you pictures and videos.
Yeah,
So
but
they
it's
did
not
take
uploaded.
pictures and video.
When you're talking about Snapchat, you're talking about a platform where people are uploading images and pictures to produce for the world. It's not abnormal for people not to snap. It's not abnormal for you not to have your phone. And Nolan wasn't the only person that left his phone on the boat. Go to tatumstore.com.
Let's get back right here. We right here with it.
Where they
My
got
fault,
the phone.
man.
Now, the boat travels to Fort Bayou at
the hell just did with
6:06.
my
The
Blizzy?
boat returns to the original dock.
Oh.
Then, from the original
Hold on, let me
dock,
get me another
the boat goes
thing, man.
back to Fort Bayou, and then they go to the boat launch, and it is put onto the trailer and moved by the vehicle. Did they drop people off at the original
Hold on.
dock, travel to Fort Bayou, pick somebody up, and go back to that original dock? And then, from there, why was there an hour and 13-minute time gap? This boat was sinking hours before, and then they're just having it docked for an hour and 13 minutes. You would think they'd want to get that boat out of the water ASAP.
That from the real TikTok detective. The boat wasn't sinking. They told Cito it was sinking. What's the truth? Was it sinking and they repaired it? Did they have a leak and they repaired it and kept on SOP? Brandon Tatum joining us, former cop, now star of The Officer Tatum. Did the young man explain those travels we just identified?
Yeah, 100% they did that. I wish that people on the internet would have had an opportunity, and they can go look at the interview that I did with Warren, but they had an opportunity to actually talk to these young men to get this in perspective, because some people have no idea how boats function and how they work. They explained to me, they took me on a boat and showed me exactly where they went, where they docked.
Oh, appreciate that 314 for that
How
membership.
did they get
I ain't see it.
pumped
Appreciate
and
that,
the
gang.
water out of the boat and all of the above. So they were sinking. They were taking on water. The water came up high enough that the batteries weren't working. They had to get a tow to kind of tow them out where you can see the young lady.
William say you look good in green. Yeah, you look good in green. I think a lot of people should turn green.
They ended up getting it to the point where they could run the water out of the boat through a hole in the boat that they ended up plugging. They explained all this. Anybody that does boating know exactly what they're talking about if you hear them explain it on the interview. So they have an explanation for all of these things. And not only that, Nancy, they showed me video of them on the boat, and Nolan was not on the boat. Nolan was not on the boat log, and there are people who saw Nolan on the island closer to around 6 p.m., which is far after they left, far after this phone call was made. I saw text messages from the young lady that Nolan was with, the young lady named Katie. I saw her text messages. In her text messages, she said that she heard the boys yelling for Nolan to get on the boat. He did not. She said in her text message that she did not see Nolan get on the boat he came on, which was Wyatt's boat, which is the boat that was sinking and they ended up leaving on. So it wasn't just a statement that they made on a podcast. They were actually showing me evidence to the contrary of what the mainstream YouTubers and some media outlets are putting out to people at large. And so I wish that people would go watch the interview or at least take some time to listen to these boys' statement. And I'll say this, Nancy, too. I wish that the family would have taken the time, or at least Benjamin Crump would have taken the time to reach out to the lawyers or reach out to these young boys to get their statements so they're not wasting their time sending everybody on a rabbit trail when they could have just talked to these boys. And they could have, but they refused. Because I saw a message from Warren where he called Nolan's mom twice. I've seen messages from Warren's stepmother, Ashley, where she sent Nolan's mom a text saying, please reach out to me whenever you're ready. I would like to talk. Other parents I saw messages from who reached out to Nolan's mom saying, we need to talk. Can we talk? I'm available if you need to talk to us. I do not understand at this point why Benjamin Crump would go out and put misinformation out online when he had the availability to talk to these kids and clear these things up like I did before he presented this to the public. We also reached out to Benjamin Crump 4 times. And on the 5th time, they come back and tell us that the family is not doing interviews. We didn't ask to talk to the family. We asked to talk to the attorney, Benjamin Crump. Why? So we can come together as a community and solve what happened to Nolan Wells, not create and stoke division, which is what I've seen from
Tatum,
Benjamin Crump.
That is exactly what we're trying to do. Have the friends taking polygraphs.
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test.
Why do you say that's from what
one.
You understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just took the test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. Yeah, I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not.
Did they take a polygraph would be no.
Well, yeah, I think it could be semantics because they took a test to analyze whether or not they were being truthful in their statements, and that certified test, they passed it. It just wasn't considered a traditional polygraph. I think it's a more advanced way of doing it.
Building your app.
Nancy saying, hold on. Nancy saying, hold on.
Describe it.
Shout out to Nancy Gridley.
Okay,
let go,
back
bro.
to
Let's see what she got to say.
Tatum.
Let's see how she feels.
The Officer Tatum on YouTube. Did the young men you interviewed, I believe it was 4 of them, state that Nolan did not have reception, or did they explain
y'all get to 100 likes,
there
gang.
were no pictures, text, instance,
Everybody double tap the screen for me.
on his phone? Did they have
Donate to the platform, super chats, and gifts are welcome.
Yes, ma'am. They didn't mention anything about whether Nolan has service or not, but they articulated the reason why Nolan may not have, certain pictures on his phone. And they had mentioned because Nolan spent the night at their house the night before, because it's traditional for the last few years that they actually went to Horn Island together. But they were saying that they had taken pictures at the house. Some of the pictures that you've seen floating around online were pictures that they took on the boat, but they didn't take those pictures when they got out, out there to Horn Island.
I appreciate that, Latoya, for that gift.
And I would argue that
Appreciate
they were
that,
drinking,
gang.
and I couldn't imagine that they want to get underage drinking on camera. So what they had articulated to me that it wasn't abnormal for people not to snap and not to do a lot of pictures and things like that because they were focused on.
But you
being
told me
off of the
they showed
mainland.
you pictures and videos.
Yeah,
so
but
they
it's
did
not
take
uploaded.
pictures and videos.
No. It's not a lot of pictures and they weren't uploaded. So when you're talking about Snapchat, you're talking about a platform where people are uploading images and pictures to produce.
I appreciate
for the world.
that gift, 314.
What they showed me were things that they had recorded
Appreciate
on their
that,
phone,
gang.
and it wasn't a lot of different things because most of what they did was drinking and having fun in the water. And so, what they
Appreciate
had
that,
articulated
gang.
to me as well is that it's
314.
not
Shout out
abnormal
314
for
for the
people
gift.
not to snap. It's not abnormal for you not to have your phone. And Nolan wasn't the only person that left his phone on the boat. They also mentioned to me, and you can see it in the interview that they did, was that they had no reason to touch Nolan's phone. They weren't thinking about Nolan's phone when they thought the boat was sinking. And when they got to the house, it was no incident when it comes to Nolan getting the phone back to the friend and parent.
You're going far afield from my question. Let me redirect you back to their phones. Nolan has nothing on his phone. They have pictures and videos on their phones. You told me that they exist, whether they posted them or not. So they were taking pictures and videos. Don't you see why the mom, Nolan's mom, is concerned there's nothing on her son's phone?
Well, Nancy, it's unclear exactly what the mother is articulating, because at one point she's concerned that there's not a lot of Snapchats or social media posting. She did not articulate, or the Benjamin Crump did not mention that there's nothing on his phone. So they're not saying that the phone was wiped and there's no images or anything. She was concerned about his social media frequency, which I believe after talking to the boys, it was consistent with what they said, and it was consistent with basic deductive reasoning that maybe he didn't post a lot on that day. So what remains a focus for me, and if I was investigating this case, I would want to know.
Not talking about whether he posted, officer.
No,
He didn't even take anything. There's no pictures, there's no anything.
That's what the mom is saying, but we haven't had an opportunity to either see or hear exactly what she's trying to articulate. Some of the things that she said in the media is that she's talking about posting. I don't believe she said that there was nothing at all on his phone, no pictures, no nothing. But I wasn't able to verify that. So if I was able to see Nolan's phone and the mother was able to show me exactly what she's articulating, I'll be able to have a better perspective in comparison to what Warren and the other boys were telling me. So at this point, I only have one side of it, and then I have a fractured perception from what the media or what the mother is saying in the media. So when the police officers look at his phone and they do a forensic extraction, if they're allowed to do that, they will see plainly if Nolan was on his phone, if he had taken pictures, and if they were deleted. Now, I'll implement this as we begin to try to guess and figure out what was happening on that day. It doesn't seem to be reasonable to suggest that the boys were in his phone deleting things. Now, after hanging out with the boys and getting to know them well, they're very intelligent young men, very savvy, and they were raised well. I would project, if I were to make an assumption, that if they were trying to cover up something that happened to Nolan, I would perceive that they would throw the phone in the water or something where it never would be recovered. Or if they had access to get into the phone, they wouldn't just delete, they would just completely rewrite the phone or, do a hard reset. Or they wouldn't give the phone back to mama or the family anyway. So with those factors put in place and what I've talked to them about, it seems as if their story seems consistent to me, that they did not get in the phone. They did not know his password. They had no reason to believe that there was a necessity to get in the phone.
Officer,
and they gave it over to the
I'm not saying
family.
you're wrong. I'm saying I'm not taking anybody's word for anything until I investigate it.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Hey. Hey. Nancy Grace ain't playing. She on Stop 6 ass. Yeah, she on Stop 6 ass, boy. God dang. And look how she be looking. She look like she been bitten on it. Hey, shout out to Nancy Grace, bro. Shout out to Nancy Grace for pressing Stop 6. I'm be honest. Shout out to Nancy Grace for pressing Step 6 about the Nolan case. Man, we can keep talking about the Nolan case, bro. There's so much content out about this shit.
Composition
Hold on.
in Mr. Wells, which I think they've
Get
alluded
your
to.
get up out of here. Get up out of here. We done with you now. Get up out of here.
Do y'all feel like it's somebody out there with information?
Hold on, okay. Oh, if I even play that one, I'm probably gonna play that one tomorrow. Man, what time is it? 12:39. Oh, we in here. Fuck it. We still gonna be in here. Let's stay in here. We got some more. We say lock them up. Lock them up. Lock them up. Stay here? Alright. Alright. Hold up. Y'all must be tripping, I tell you. Yeah, they be tripping. They be tripping out. But I'm here for it all. For everybody that's tripping and fumbling and tumbling, I'm here for it all, man. I ain't gonna count to y'all. Well, y'all got going. Let's play one more Stop 6. Then we got another one that we finna play. Let's do one more Stop 6, man. One more Stop 6. They're gonna be real interesting. Let's play one more Stop 6. That's gonna be real interesting. Yeah. Let's go to this one here. It's gonna be real interesting here. Let's go to this one. Let's go to this one right here. Let's go to more Stop 6. And then we're gonna go. We got some more. We got some more Nolan Will content, man. I'm telling you, bro. We got some more.
When you talk about all the things that have been spread, there's this
Yeah, let's go.
You mentioned his name.
Let's go. Soon as you said that, I don't know how you knew. I don't know how you knew that truth.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
go
not
though.
even gonna
Turn that bit
comment
up.
on
Turn that bit
Brandon
up. We
Tatum.
finna turn that bit up, man.
No.
Let's go to another
What do you think
entertaining
of
one.
that, Ben or
Yeah.
or Christine?
Let's go, man. Let's turn that bit up for me, man. We finna turn that bit up.
Happy with anybody who wants to
Let's turn
share
that bit up.
the objective to get into the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells.
You want unity, but you're not talking to nobody, and you just making up lies. Sometimes the greatest acts of heroism.
I don't know how in the real you knew that
They
truth.
happen inside an ordinary home. That's what the film Our Crossroads is
Oh,
about.
you said discernment?
This is an
Oh
inspiring true
yeah. I
story
know
set
how. I
in
know how it
rural
goes.
Ohio in 1969 about a young couple who gets a life-changing calling. 6
Man, hold up.
are at risk of being
Stop
separated,
6.
and
Wait,
this couple
stop 6.
says no.
Wait,
We're not letting tragedy
wait,
break this family apart.
Wait, that's
Nolan's
enough.
mother. I'm gonna be respectful to his mama. But I do have criticisms. When you watch this video, you're gonna see why I have criticisms. Roll the clip.
When you talk about all the things that have been spread, there is this officer, I hate mentioning his name, a former officer who is a far right wing, who's been doing the interviews and has been saying, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not even going to comment on Brandon Tatum. No.
Time out. Do you guys find that kind of suspicious or interesting that Don Lemon said, I'm not going to mention his name? Fair enough. If you don't want to give a person publicity, if you don't believe they're legitimate, you won't say the person's name. He said, I'm not going to say his name is this officer, right? Then mom gets on, and you would think she would say, I'm not talking about that dude. He's irrelevant. He's not worth my time. I'm not talking about this guy you talking about either. Why was she saying
everybody going
Brandon Tatum? She
Stop.
put full name.
Everybody going at Stop 6.
And in my
But
personal opinion,
case.
she want people who hate me to come out and know who I am and search me and do all the other stuff, but refuse to address specific things that they're saying that I'm saying. And they have never addressed some of the things that the boys have said. You have not heard them address the phone thing. You have not addressed them because Warren said he told Nolan's mother that he had the cell phone and the keys. They have not said that he lied about it. They won't even talk about it. It came up on Chris Cuomo, and you guys will see that shortly. It came up on Chris Cuomo, and they pivoted. They didn't even address what Cuomo said. They just pivoted to something else. All right, continue.
I respect that, and that's the right answer for everybody. I believe. I feel like because I mentioned him, I'm like, why did I even mention him? Because he doesn't deserve a platform.
No, he does not.
So let's talk about the people, the young men that he's been interviewing. They're saying they're his best friends. Some of them you said that you don't know. One of them even said, "Oh, Nolan would be outraged by the way his parents are handling this." And I'm like, "Wait, what? Like, why on earth would somebody go on and say that about a grieving family?" But go.
Again, distraction. We're not even gonna address them or that man. We only want the truth. Again, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say it like I've been saying it. The only question we have is what happened to Nolan. That's what we need to know. That's it. That's all.
When you talk about all the,
I'm talking about, Mama, I got a question for you. With all due respect, why then, if you want to know what happened to Nolan, did your attorney not talk to me before I ever talked to the other side? All right, we passed that point. How come when Nicole or Ashley reached out to you via text, which she showed me, which we posted online, that you didn't respond to Warren's mother to even talk to her and get any information that she may have? The boys already have been investigated by law enforcement. We will not know exactly what they said for a time period, which could be a long time. I don't know. They got to go to grand jury and everything. So we will never know what they said to the police unless you talk to them directly. Why, if you want to know what happened to your son, would you talk to the people that last seen him alive? You're saying they saw him alive last. They're reaching out to you and saying, we want to talk. Let's have a conversation. But instead, you guys refuse to talk to them, refuse to talk to me, and then get online and push stuff that you have to later redact because you could have talked to them first and cleared it up, talked to their attorneys and cleared it up. You could have gotten all the boys' statements that have been compiled before the police put it out in the public so you can have a clear perspective before you go out in the public. But they did not do it. You know what they did? The first thing they did before they talked to any parent, any person involved, before they talked to anybody, they went and got Benjamin Crump. And they went and got Benjamin Crump, and what are they doing? The day that their son is put into the ground, they go get his estate, establish an estate, and then prepare to sue. Now, if you don't know what happened, and you have not made a determination, all you want to know is what happened, then why are you prepping to sue people? You're going to sue them for what? I'm not prepping to sue anybody. I'm not acting like I know exactly what happened to Nolan. I'm just taking the information that's presented to me and saying, this is what they're saying. They show evidence of this. What do the other people got to say? But y'all already talking about suing people, already getting the state in his name the day he's put in arrest on his funeral. Because you're already looking at suing people in a lawsuit, and when you don't even know yet what happened to your son. But what's really happened is they already made up in their mind that they're going to blame these white boys. And so anybody saying anything to the contrary of what they're pursuing, they say, oh, I don't want to hear from this person. Oh, that person is illegitimate. Oh, my son wasn't friends with these boys. He wasn't friends with them? Maybe you just wasn't aware that he was friends with them. But according to social media and Instagram and photos and him staying the night over their house and him leaving his car at their house and him going out to Horn Island with them, he's not their friend. Well, then, who is his friend? And why was he hanging out with them and not these white boys when he's at home 3 or 4 days a week? Yeah, they all just made this up. I'm not there. I wasn't there. All right, let him finish.
The father of one of the young men who's been speaking out has put up a $50,000 reward reportedly. What do you think of that, Ben or Elmore or Christine?
Yeah, we are happy with anybody who wants to share the objective to get into the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells. So we applaud it and we say, yeah, let's all work together to get answers because we, as we've said continuously, Don Lemon, adamantly, somebody saw something, somebody knows something. I mean, and that's what you want, are answers.
Mm-hmm. Now, if that was true, then his dad put up a $50,000 thing. Why don't you talk to him? Why don't you ring them and give them a phone call? You're saying y'all all going for no. Why don't you call the man and talk to him and see what he know? Instead of putting out fake information about his child. Saying that his child must have been involved, sharing his picture all over the internet with no information. Then saying that he must have gotten into a fight when the coach, Nolan's coach, said that wasn't his voice on the thing. And you can't tell me that his parents don't know that that little boat scuffle wasn't their son's voice. But yet they let Benjamin Crump put that on the internet to frame it as if these white boys must have done something to him.
Crazy work.
You want unity, but you're not talking to nobody, and you just making up lies. If you talk to these boys, you would. If they at least attempted to talk to these boys, they'll know who was on the boat. And instead of listening to a doctored phone call with a made-up transcript, they could go and talk to each boy and say, "Well, what did you say then? Is that you on a thing? Okay, what did you say? Is that you? Well, what did you actually say? Is that you? What did you say? Okay, they're saying that they said this. Oh, they told this to the police. Then maybe we can chill a little bit on the accusations until we get more evidence. But that's not what they want. Let me just real quickly debunk a few things and let you guys know how I even got involved in this in the first place. And I'm going to demand an apology for some of these people who are out here lying on my name, including DL, some of these other fools, Benjamin Crump. They're all lying to you guys and being disingenuous about my position in this. First and foremost, let me show you guys evidence that I reached out to Benjamin Crump before I ever heard from Nicole, Warren, any of these people. I didn't even hear from them. I had no idea that they even wanted to talk to me. They messaged us, and I'll show you the email here in a second, but they messaged us on a communication thing. I forget what is it called? Contact form. We reached out to Benjamin Crump and them first. And they refused to talk to me. Let me show you the email. I think we got it pulled up right here. I'm going to read it to you. It says, Dear Media Relations Team, and this is directly at press@bencrump.com. And the reason we know this is his email because they responded to us after the 5th time, claiming that they didn't want to do any interviews, yet they went on Cuomo, and they also went on Don Lemon just recently. But let me read you what we said, and you tell me is this reasonable, fair, and that this should be reasonable for them to at least respond to us the first 4 times. All right, this is the first thing that we said. We said, Dear Media Relations Team, I hope that you're doing well. I'm reaching out on behalf of the Officer Tatum, and this is my show director reaching out to them. Reaching out on behalf of the Officer Tatum show to invite Benjamin Crump, or attorney Ben Crump, to join Brandon for a discussion regarding the Nolan Wells case. The Officer Tatum show reaches millions of viewers each month across YouTube, podcast platforms, and social media, with a combined audience of more than 3 million subscribers and followers. Given the public interest surrounding this case, we believe our audience would benefit from hearing Mr. Crump's perspective directly. We believe our audience wants to hear from Benjamin Crump and his perspective, to give him the same opportunity, the same dignity to present to you guys just as well as I gave the boys that reached out to us. Let me continue. Officer Tatum values respectful conversations and welcomes dialogue with guests from a variety of backgrounds and viewpoints. He would appreciate the opportunity to give Mr. Crump a platform to speak directly to his audience and share his thoughts on the case.
The interview would be conducted via video call, last approximately 30 minutes, and we are happy to work around Mr. Crump's schedule to accommodate his availability. Please let us know if there's any interest in coordinating an appearance. Thank you for your time and consideration. Grant put his stuff in there. They know it's coming from me. We have an official email where they can attach the domain to legitimacy on our show. So there's no Gmail or nothing like that. We have an official email. They responded to us, just so you know, on the 5th try and said they don't want to interview after they've seen 4 attempts. And that is proving, go back, let's put the date out there for people so they know that we are clearly telling you the truth. July the 16th at 9:30 a.m. Now let's go to the first time we got anything from Warren's stepmother. Let's go to that. So my executive assistant reached out or sent the message to Grant, my show director and producer. She said, "Hi team, I received this last night via our event forms," which is really not the form that a person would reach out to us on. They would reach out to us on a contact form, but this is the events form. It says, "Not sure if this is legitimate, but assume something we should follow up on. Please advise." So she sent the screenshot, which we redacted because we don't want anybody's personal information out there. It was a screenshot of the form and the contact information from Warren's stepmother. Then my executive assistant, who is incredible and absolutely brilliant, did her due diligence and said, from what I see online, she is indeed the stepmother of one of the boys involved in this case. And we put her name in there, that she's Ashley. My producer, show director, who's incredible at his job, said, "Calling her now." What time is this? This was sent to us at
y'all get the lights up, gang. They get to 100 lights.
On the 17th, which
turn
is
the bit up.
Nearly a
hit the
full
sub button.
24 hours.
Donate to the platform. Hit the super chat. Hit the gifts. What we doing?
At 10:22 a.m.
We in here late
said,
night.
"I'm going
chilling.
to call her. I'll call her now." Now let's go to the call log. This is Miss Cole.
Yeah, we chilling late night,
15
man.
million
We here
views on
chilling,
the first video of a new YouTube channel. You start at 0 subscribers.
In our in Grant's phone, this is the phone call that occurred
Appreciate
on
that gift, Sean.
7/17/2026
Appreciate
at
that, gang.
10:23, which is a minute after he told my executive assistant that he would give her a call. The call lasted 8 minutes, as you can see.
Salute to everybody
Now,
in their bit.
how in the world are people out here saying that Officer Tatum only picked one side? Officer Tatum was just going out and looking out for the white man and looking out for the boys. I have never reached out to them to talk to them at all. I did reach out to Benjamin Crump. They ended up reaching out to me. That's why I accepted. I laid the foundation on how it started. Benjamin Crump never responded to me. They reached out to me. I said, "Okay, I'll give you guys an opportunity. Let's talk. Let's, and I had to vet them and make sure that they weren't sitting there lying to me and making up stories on my platform. And they had to vet me to make sure that I'm a legitimate podcaster, that I'm going to give the boys at least credence if they're on my show telling their story." We fly out there. We had no promise of an interview with none of the kids. The first day we got there, and I said this on TMZ, the first day we got there, we were invited to a dinner. We sat down at the dinner. There were a few boys, their parents, and I think one of the attorneys was there. And we sat down and had a dinner. They did not want to discuss details of the case with us.
Salute, gang. Dan.
We did, however,
I
because
appreciate
one
you
of the
coming
parents
in 314.
was
Appreciate
zealous
all the
enough to
gifts
say,
and
"Look,
shit,
man,
bro.
just look at
Appreciate
maybe
you.
2 things that the person had," because they were eager
Get
to
your
be
rest,
like, "They're
gang.
lying about our kids.
Salute to everybody in here, man.
Look at this, they lying." And so we had maybe like a couple items like that occurred during the dinner. And during the dinner, and people try to act like these families are. One of the moms was crying because of what this had done to the community, not only for her children, but for Nolan. They knew Nolan. They were friends with Nolan. She's crying at the fact that this has all happened when this was Nolan's friends. And so that's how the dinner went. Moving forward, we went to Horn Island. We got more information from the other boys that were accused initially. I didn't talk to every single person that's involved in this. I only talked to 4 boys. 5 boys if you add Tristan. So the 4 boys they originally accused, we talked to them, had some conversations. We went to Horn Island. Some things were described. They didn't want to be on camera. They didn't want to give us a statement, and I was fine with that. And then when I say statement, meaning on camera, then we went to the Airbnb that we had scheduled. We set up the thing. Eventually, they said, okay, Warren is going to give an interview. We said, all right, we already ready for him. Come give the interview. Warren was there. His lawyer was there. And then there was other people that was in Warren's team that was in another room separate from where we did the podcast. And I would argue they couldn't hear because it was way on the other side of the Airbnb. So with that being said, we did the interview with Warren. Before we started the interview, Tristan came over. I talked to Tristan and Warren before all that, and they were just talking. I don't know what happened, so I'm not interjecting anything. I'm just listening. And Tristan is saying a lot of incredible things that Warren was not privy to because Warren and Tristan weren't on the same boat. They didn't come in and they didn't leave together. However, they are friends that share a same community friend group. Let's move forward. We interview Warren. Interview is over. We come back and we were like, okay, none of the other boys want to come interview, which I would have liked for all of them to be there at the same time because they all got different pieces of the puzzle to put together because they were in different places at different times in part. Then we go, let's just interview Tristan while he's here. He's here. He seems like a very genuine young man. Let's just see what he has to say. I could not rehearse any of these things because I don't know none of what happened. I've only heard Benjamin Crump them side. So I'm asking basic questions. If you watch the interview, I'm just asking basic questions of them. Like, well, do you know how did you get the phone? Why was his phone left on the boat? I'm asking basic questions that a journalist would ask of them, and they gave me an answer. Now, I will say this. I verified nearly everything that they were telling me before I did the interview because I was not going to go down to Mississippi and interview somebody that I haven't vetted that will sit on my podcast and tell a flat out lie. Let me just put this in perspective. I was not going to accept Warren or anybody to get on my podcast and say, I didn't have nothing to do with anything. Blah, 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 blah. And then after the podcast, the investigation yielded that they were primary suspects in killing Nolan Wells. You think I'm stupid enough to have somebody on there saying all that on my platform? I don't need the interview. I'm already doing my thing. I had already been talking about the case before talking to anybody, and my coverage is premier. So when they were talking to me and giving me information before the show and at Horn Island and stuff, they showing me. I say, well, do you got evidence of this stuff? Yeah, right here. This is when I called Nolan's mom. Here's when I called her twice. Here's when I called the Coast Guard. Here's us coordinating together to go search for and helping the search for Nolan the next day. Here's who came with me. Here's all of our testimony. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, wow. We went out to Horn Island on the boat. They said, this is where we docked from. They showed me video of everybody getting on that boat, which we shared. And then we get on the boat, we go out there. We went the same path that they went. We went to Horn Island. They told me exactly where they believed they were at and what was going on. They showed me video of them there and what was going on. Amateur photos or amateur video, which we shared on social media. So y'all have access to all of that, or at least most of what they had. Some things it had other people in it. We couldn't show it because they are not associated and they don't deserve to be doxxed. And then we didn't have their permission to share it. And then we go back and they explain the Bills pump and all that other stuff and what was happening and how they were sinking. And they were explaining all these boat terms that everybody that have ever ridden a boat or advocates of boat, you know exactly what they're talking about. But they were saying how it was taking on water and how it was water up to the batteries and all of this other stuff. And that they had to be towed out to get on plane, which means that once they get to a certain point, the water can begin to be dumped out. And as they keep going, it pulls the water out the back and all this other stuff that I have no idea because I never read on a boat except that one time. So they're explaining all this, and they're explaining where they got told to, and that they were here, and then once they got up to speed, they could go here. And then you can see on the GPS tracking in the Life 360 is that they were told at a slow speed, and then all of a sudden they pick up normal speed. And that's because they had fixed the issue, and they ended up going where they needed to go. They showed me where they all were going to congregate at and have a party with Nolan and everybody else. They showed me all of these different components. And then we go do an interview. And there was nothing in the interview, I think, that caught me by surprise because they had to show evidence to a lot of the things that they were being accused of. Lawyer was sitting right there in the room. So people don't understand that aspect of it. Now, I've said enough.
That dog gonna stop 6. That stop 6 in the mix. Stop 6 in the mix, man. Stop 6 is in the mix, man. Shout out to Stop 6, man. For real. No cap, shout out to Stop 6. Hey, gang. We're gonna continue this live in the morning, gang. I had like one more clip to play, but we're gonna add that to the live that we're gonna show in the morning, gang. Hey, I appreciate all y'all coming through, gang. No cap, appreciate everybody, channel members, all the gifters tonight. I appreciate all y'all, gang. We're gonna come back in the morning. Y'all better hit that like button, sub, and notification bell as well, gang. Hit that notification bell as well, you know I'm back on your screen, gang. For real. We're gonna be chopping down the Nolan Well news again and all type of other. I'm talking about everything else. I ain't gonna say everything else. We'll be talking about all type of other updates over here, gang. No cap. Salute to everybody that came through over there, being supported, gave their opinion. Hey, you want to continue giving your opinion, gang? We will be live again in the morning, gang. We will be live again in the morning. We will be live again. So hit the notification bell as well, gang. Salute to everybody. W, gang. It's Savage TV. Become a member. If you think about becoming a member, become a member. Hit that like button. Hit that sub button. It's Savage. I'm out, gang. I'm going to see y'all on the next one, gang. Salute.